100 years, aviation has followed the same rules. But DARPA's new invention is about to shatter everything. Without flaps, rudders, or ailerons, this $300 million marvel that looks like it flew straight out of a Star Wars movie uses compressed air to maneuver through the sky, baffling radar operators. Could this be the game changer in aviation? If it works, what's stopping us from building real-life X-wing fighters in the future? Join us as we find out this $300 million aircraft breaks the rules. The Pentagon's most daring technology agency just took flight control to an entirely new level. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, unveiled a groundbreaking drone that's set to revolutionize how aircraft maneuver through the skies. This isn't just another military drone. It's a complete reimagining of aircraft design that has caught the attention of both military strategists and commercial airlines. At the heart of this innovation is the Crane program, a $200 million initiative that breaks free from 120 years of aviation tradition. Since the Wright brothers first took flight in 1903, aircraft have relied on movable surfaces like flaps and rudders to navigate the air. These mechanical parts, while effective, create drag, require constant maintenance, and make aircraft easily visible to radar. DARPA's solution? Replace all these moving parts with an ingenious system of compressed air nozzles. Think of it like a spacecraft's thrusters, but designed for atmospheric flight. These nozzles, strategically placed across the aircraft's surface, release precise bursts of air that alter the airflow around the vehicle, allowing it to turn, climb, and dive with remarkable precision. Boeing's subsidiary, Aurora Flight Sciences, won the competitive contract to bring this concept to life. The company's track record in developing autonomous systems made them an ideal choice. They previously created the X-524A Lightning Strike, another DARPA-funded aircraft that demonstrated vertical takeoff and landing capabilities using distributed electric propulsion. The technology behind this new aircraft draws inspiration from nature. Much like how birds adjust their feathers mid-flight for precise control, the AFC system uses micro-adjustments in airflow to achieve similar results. The key difference is that, instead of mechanical movements, it relies on sophisticated computer systems that calculate and adjust air pressure thousands of times per second. One of the most significant advantages of this design is its potential impact on stealth capabilities. Traditional aircraft control surfaces create distinctive radar signatures that make them easily detectable. By eliminating these moving parts, the new design significantly reduces its radar cross-section, making it nearly invisible to modern detection systems. The project also promises substantial cost savings. Current military aircraft spend about 70% of their lifetime maintenance hours on mechanical control surfaces. By eliminating these components, maintenance time could be cut dramatically, potentially saving millions in upkeep costs per aircraft. The program represents the latest chapter in DARPA's long history of aviation breakthroughs. The agency previously pioneered stealth technology with the Have Blue program in the 1970s, which led to the development of the F-11 Even Nighthawk stealth fighter. They also developed the first successful unmanned aerial vehicles in the 1960s. As Aurora Flight Sciences moves forward with the project, they're facing several technical challenges. The most significant is developing a control system that can respond as quickly and reliably as traditional mechanical surfaces. The compressed air system must also be energy efficient enough to make the technology practical for real-world applications. Despite these challenges, early wind tunnel tests have shown promising results. The prototype has demonstrated exceptional maneuverability at various speeds and angles of attack, suggesting that this revolutionary approach to flight control could indeed become the new standard in aviation technology. Building on the revolutionary control system's promise, one burning question remains. How do you transform such a bold concept from science fiction into flying reality? DARPA and Aurora Flight Sciences have mapped out an ambitious three-phase journey to answer just that. Phase 1 began in the controlled environment of wind tunnels, where engineers tested a scaled-down version of the X-5. These tests were crucial for understanding how the compressed air system would behave in real-world conditions. Using advanced sensors and high-speed cameras, researchers collected data on air pressure distributions, flow patterns, and control response times. The results exceeded expectations, showing that the aircraft could maintain stability even in challenging wind conditions. The success of Phase 1 opened the door to Phase 2, which focuses on pushing the boundaries of speed and control. This phase will test the aircraft's ability to reach mission-relevant speeds. In aviation language, this means approaching the sound barrier. The team is developing sophisticated flight software that must make split-second decisions about when and how to activate the various air nozzles, essentially teaching the aircraft to think in 3 dimensions. What makes this phase particularly challenging is the need to account for different air densities and temperatures at various altitudes. The control system must work just as effectively at sea level as it does at 40,000 feet, where the air is thin and cold. Engineers are using advanced computer simulations to predict how the aircraft will behave under these varying conditions. Phase 3 represents the program's most ambitious step, constructing and flying a full-scale, 7,000-pound aircraft. To put this weight in perspective, it's about the size of 2 F-16 fighter jets combined. This phase will prove whether the AFC technology can scale up from wind tunnel models to actual aircraft sizes. The X-65's modular design adds another layer of complexity and opportunity. Different wing configurations can be swapped out like building blocks, allowing engineers to test various shapes and sizes. This flexibility means the aircraft can be adapted for different missions without requiring a complete redesign, a feature that could save millions in development costs. Current projections show the aircraft reaching speeds of Mach 0.7, or about 537 miles per hour. While this might seem modest compared to modern fighter jets that exceed Mach 2, it's important to remember that this is a technology demonstrator. The focus is on proving the control concept rather than breaking speed records. Test flights are scheduled for 2025, but preparation is already underway at various facilities across the country. Wind tunnel testing continues at NASA's Langley Research Center, while component testing occurs at Aurora's facilities in Virginia. Engineers are also developing specialized test equipment to measure the effectiveness of the air control system in real time during flight. Safety considerations have led to the development of a triple redundant control system. If any part of the primary air control system fails, backup systems can take over instantly. This redundancy is crucial for an aircraft testing such revolutionary technology. The program has already attracted interest from commercial aviation giants. Boeing, through its ownership of Aurora Flight Sciences, has first-hand access to the technology's development. Other manufacturers are watching closely, recognizing that successful implementation could lead to significant competitive advantages in both military and civilian aircraft design. As engineers race against time to meet the 2025 test flight deadline, a crucial question emerges. What exactly makes this aircraft's design so revolutionary that it's drawing comparisons to science fiction? The X-65's appearance breaks traditional aircraft design rules in ways that would make aerospace pioneers do a double-take. From the front, its distinct double-wing configuration, tilted at carefully calculated angles, bears an uncanny resemblance to the iconic X-Wing starfighter from Star Wars. This similarity isn't just coincidental. The X-65 designation might even be a subtle nod to Star Wars T-65 X-Wing model, showing how science fiction sometimes predicts real technological advances. But beneath its striking appearance lies purposeful engineering. The aircraft's belly houses a single, powerful jet engine with a carefully designed intake system that maximizes thrust while minimizing radar reflection. A secondary intake and exhaust system on the upper fuselage serves a unique purpose. It generates the compressed air that powers the 14 control nozzle banks distributed strategically around the airframe. These nozzle banks represent the heart of the X-65's innovation. Unlike traditional aircraft that rely on moving surfaces to change direction, these nozzles release precise bursts of high-pressure air to control the aircraft's movement. The system requires sophisticated pressure management, achieved through a network of computer-controlled valves and ducts hidden within the aircraft's skin. The X-65's modular design sets it apart from typical experimental aircraft. Its wings can be swapped out like building blocks, allowing engineers to test different configurations without building entirely new aircraft. This modularity extends to the active flow control systems themselves. Different companies can develop and test their versions of the technology using the same basic airframe. The aircraft's skin incorporates advanced composite materials that can withstand the stress of high-speed flight while housing the complex network of air channels. These materials, developed specifically for the X-65, are lighter than traditional aerospace aluminum, but offer greater strength and resistance to heat buildup. Each wing section contains multiple layers of systems, structural supports, air distribution channels, sensor networks, and the nozzle arrays themselves. Engineers had to solve complex problems like preventing moisture buildup in the air channels and ensuring consistent pressure distribution across all nozzles. The solution involved developing new types of moisture-resistant coatings and creating innovative airflow management systems. The X-65's cockpit area, though unoccupied, houses some of the most advanced flight control computers ever developed. These systems must process data from hundreds of sensors and make thousands of adjustments per second to maintain stable flight. The computer systems are triple redundant, meaning there are 3 separate systems that can take over if others fail. Special attention was paid to the aircraft's radar signature. Without traditional control surfaces, the X-65 presents fewer edges and angles that could reflect radar signals. The intake and exhaust systems are specially shaped to scatter radar waves, while the surface materials are designed to absorb rather than reflect electromagnetic energy. The modular nature of the X-65 extends beyond testing. It's designed to evolve. Future iterations could incorporate new technologies like plasma actuators instead of compressed air, or different wing shapes optimized for specific missions. This adaptability makes the X-65 not just an aircraft, but a flying laboratory for next-generation aviation technologies. As revolutionary as the design is, it still faces real-world challenges. The aircraft must prove it can maintain control in extreme weather conditions, handle emergencies without traditional backup controls, and demonstrate that its innovative systems can perform reliably over extended periods. While the X-65's design breaks new ground in aviation engineering, the real question that has both military strategists and airline executives sitting up in their chairs is, how could this revolutionary flow control technology transform the future of flight? Active flow control represents a fundamental shift in how aircraft interact with the air around them. Traditional aircraft use solid surfaces, flaps, rudders, and ailerons to push against the air, like a swimmer's hands pushing through water. AFC takes a more subtle approach, using precisely controlled jets of air to shape the invisible boundary layer that surrounds the aircraft during flight. Think of this boundary layer as a thin blanket of air that wraps around the aircraft. By strategically injecting or removing air through carefully placed nozzles, AFC can change how this blanket behaves. This control allows the aircraft to turn, climb, or dive without moving any external parts. The technology can even prevent turbulent air from forming, which typically creates drag and reduces efficiency. The military benefits are particularly significant. Modern air defense systems use radar to track aircraft by detecting reflections from their metal surfaces, especially moving parts like flaps and rudders. By eliminating these moving surfaces, AFC-equipped aircraft become much harder to detect. Current stealth aircraft like the B-2 bomber still need some moving surfaces for control, creating weak points in their stealth capabilities. The X-65's technology could close these vulnerability gaps, but AFC's advantages extend far beyond stealth. Current commercial airliners spend about 3% of their total fuel just overcoming the drag created by their control surfaces. Removing these surfaces could save millions of gallons of fuel annually. For perspective, a typical Boeing 747 burns about 1 gallon of fuel every second during flight. Even a 1% reduction in fuel consumption across the global airline fleet would save over 900 million gallons of fuel per year. Maintenance costs tell another compelling story. Traditional control surfaces require regular inspection and maintenance due to their moving parts. These components face constant stress from air pressure and temperature changes, leading to wear and potential failure. AFC systems with fewer moving parts could significantly reduce maintenance time and costs. Industry analysts estimate that airlines could save up to 25% on maintenance costs by adopting AFC technology. The technology also opens new possibilities for aircraft design. Without the need for traditional control surfaces, wings can be optimized purely for aerodynamic efficiency. This freedom allows for thicker wings that can carry more fuel or cargo while maintaining the same external dimensions. Engineers estimate that AFC-equipped aircraft could carry up to 15% more fuel in the same wing space. Research into AFC isn't limited to compressed air systems. Scientists are exploring other methods of flow control, including plasma actuators that use electrical energy to ionize air molecules and create control forces. These systems could be even more efficient than compressed air, requiring less energy to operate and providing faster response times. Safety benefits also factor into AFC's potential. Traditional control surfaces can freeze or jam, potentially leading to dangerous situations. AFC systems, properly designed with redundancy, could provide more reliable control in adverse weather conditions. The technology could even help aircraft recover from dangerous flight conditions by providing more precise control over airflow. Environmental impact is another crucial advantage. Reduced fuel consumption means lower carbon emissions, while the elimination of hydraulic systems for moving control surfaces reduces the use of potentially harmful hydraulic fluids. A single commercial airliner typically contains hundreds of gallons of hydraulic fluid that must be regularly replaced and carefully disposed of. The technology's potential extends beyond fixed-wing aircraft. Helicopters could use AFC to improve rotor efficiency and reduce noise. Spacecraft could employ similar systems for precise attitude control during atmospheric re-entry. Even wind turbines could benefit from AFC technology to improve efficiency and reduce maintenance needs. However, challenges remain. Engineers must ensure AFC systems can provide the same level of control authority as traditional surfaces while using less energy. The compressed air systems must work reliably in all weather conditions, from desert heat to Arctic cold. The technology must also prove its durability over thousands of flight hours before commercial adoption becomes viable. With such groundbreaking potential benefits on the horizon, the question that's keeping aerospace engineers up at night is, how close are we to seeing these revolutionary aircraft take to the skies in real-world applications? The journey from experimental technology to mainstream aviation has already begun. During NATO's 2018 testing program, early AFC-equipped drones demonstrated maneuverability that surprised even their designers. These drones could perform tight turns and sudden direction changes that would be impossible with traditional control surfaces, responding more like agile fighter jets than typical unmanned aircraft. Major aerospace companies are taking notice. BAE Systems, a leading defense contractor, has integrated similar technology into its Magma drone program. Their tests have shown that AFC systems can work reliably in real-world conditions, from high-altitude cold to ground-level heat. This success has sparked interest from other manufacturers, including Airbus and Lockheed Martin, who are developing their versions of the technology. The military sector is likely to lead to early adoption. Modern air forces need aircraft that can operate in heavily defended airspace, where traditional control surfaces make aircraft vulnerable to detection. The U.S. Air Force has already begun incorporating elements of AFC technology into their next-generation aircraft development programs, though specific details remain classified. Commercial aviation's adoption timeline looks different. Airlines typically wait for new technologies to prove themselves through years of military service before considering implementation. However, the potential cost savings from reduced fuel consumption and maintenance could accelerate this timeline. Several major airlines have already partnered with manufacturers to study how AFC could be integrated into their future fleet plans. Richard Lezian, Crane's program manager, sees the X-65 as more than just a single aircraft program. He envisions it becoming a national test asset, similar to NASA's X-planes that have advanced aviation technology since the 1940s. This means the X-65 could serve as a flying laboratory, testing new variations of AFC technology and other advanced aviation concepts for decades to come. The program has already influenced aerospace education. Universities across the country are updating their aerospace engineering curricula to include AFC technology. Students are learning to design aircraft that don't rely on traditional control surfaces, preparing them for a future where this technology becomes standard. The impact extends beyond aviation. The lessons learned from AFC development are finding applications in other fields. Wind turbine manufacturers are exploring similar technology to improve efficiency and reduce maintenance costs. Formula One racing teams are studying AFC principles to enhance car aerodynamics. Even submarine designers are investigating how these concepts could improve underwater vehicle control. Looking ahead, the next decade could see significant developments. Military drones using AFC technology could enter service by 2030. Commercial applications might follow in the mid-2030. Starting with cargo aircraft, we're proving new technologies carries less risk than passenger flights. Perhaps most importantly, the X-65 program is changing how engineers think about aircraft design. The century-old assumption that planes need moving surfaces for control is being challenged. This shift in thinking could lead to entirely new aircraft configurations that we haven't even imagined yet. As BAE Systems continues developing its Magma drone and other companies join the race, the competition is driving rapid advancement in AFC technology. Each new test flight provides valuable data that moves the entire field forward, bringing us closer to a future where traditional control surfaces might become as obsolete as propeller engines on commercial jets. As a new leader takes the helm as President of the United States, tensions with China have escalated to new heights. These two technological powerhouses have been locked in a silent rivalry for years. Now the U.S. has unveiled a game-changing innovation, a laser-equipped aircraft carrier that would defeat China's growing drone threat. What groundbreaking capabilities does this advanced system offer, and could it shift the balance in this ongoing power struggle? Join us as we unveil the U.S.'s new laser aircraft carrier that is ready to beat China. 52 years ago, former U.S. President Richard Nixon visited China, an event that defined history and marked a major turning point in the relationship between the two nations. However, ties between the two nations have grown strained since then. Despite several diplomatic meetings over the past year, including talks in Alaska and Tianjin, little progress has been made. The summit between Chinese President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Joe Biden was more positive in tone, but mainly resulted in plans for further discussions on key topics like strategic stability. One area of cooperation has been climate change, but tensions remain high elsewhere. After the summit, the U.S. announced a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics, added more Chinese companies to its trade restriction list, and passed a bill targeting forced labor in Xinjiang. Deep disagreements over security, economics, technology, and ideology have hardened, leaving little room for easing tensions. Analysts Paul Henley and Sam Bresnick explore how the two sides can move forward. Under former U.S. President Donald Trump, U.S.-China relations became more confrontational, and President Biden has largely continued this approach, though with a calmer tone and a focus on working with allies. The U.S. has long been concerned about China's economic practices, military growth, and human rights issues, hoping that China would become more democratic through engagement with the world. However, this has not happened, and many are frustrated with China's state-controlled economy, its actions in the South China Sea, and its increasing authoritarianism. Despite international criticism, Chinese President Xi Jinping remains confident in China's system and its future, believing that time and momentum are on China's side. Some Chinese officials also see the U.S. as a declining power, struggling with internal issues like racial justice and political division. Meanwhile, public opinion in both countries is increasingly distrustful, with Americans seeing China as a competitor and the Chinese viewing the U.S. unfavorably. The two countries' differing views on their relationship contribute to the deadlock. China wants peaceful coexistence based on shared principles, while the U.S. frames the relationship as a rivalry marked by competition and confrontation. These conflicting perspectives have led to strong policy responses from both sides. The U.S. views China's actions as a threat to global security and democracy, while China sees the U.S. as trying to suppress its rise. As tensions grow between the United States and China, the South China Sea has become a key focus of global attention. Any conflict in the region would likely hinge on the naval strength of both nations. While the U.S. Navy operates a superior fleet of 11 aircraft carriers, China only has 3: the Liaoning, the domestically produced Shandong, and the more advanced Fujian. Despite this numerical disadvantage, China is investing heavily in developing missiles capable of sinking large warships, reflecting its strategic response to United States aircraft carrier dominance. This emphasis dates back to events like the 1995 Third Taiwan Crisis. As Taiwan approached its first democratic presidential election, Beijing opposed Taiwan's growing autonomy and responded with military exercises and missile tests to intimidate the island. In a show of power, the U.S. deployed two aircraft carriers, USS Independence and USS Nimitz, near Taiwan, forcing China to back down. The incident emphasizes the U.S. Navy's carrier-based strength, which continues to challenge Beijing's regional ambitions. To counter this, China has developed missiles like the DF-26B, an intermediate-range ballistic missile introduced in 2015. This two-stage, solid-fueled missile can hit targets up to 2,500 miles away and engage moving ships using its active terminal seeker technology. Additionally, the DF-21D, often called the world's first anti-ship ballistic missile, has a range of about 1,000 miles and has undergone numerous upgrades since its debut nearly 30 years ago. Together, these weapons highlight China's focus on targeting U.S. carriers to level the playing field. In a potential conflict, the U.S. Navy would rely on advanced defense systems like Aegis and standard missile interceptors to counter these threats. The SM-6, particularly its upgraded Block 1B variant, has been tested extensively to defend against incoming missiles, reinforcing carrier protection. These systems are deployed on at least 60 American ships, emphasizing the Navy's preparedness for missile-based attacks. The growing capability of China's missiles to damage or potentially sink U.S. warships has heightened concerns. While the United States maintains a qualitative edge, China's ability to challenge this dominance through innovative missile technology highlights the escalating naval competition in the region. With the stakes rising, the South China Sea remains a critical flashpoint in the rivalry between these two global powers. China's drone technology may surpass that of the United States, with advanced capabilities suggesting its unmanned aerial vehicles could potentially overwhelm an American aircraft carrier through coordinated swarm tactics. This analysis highlights China's rapid progress in drone development, potentially reshaping future military strategies and challenges. China showcased its drones publicly for the first time during the National Day Parade in 2009. By 2011, the country had already amassed over 280 UAVs capable of various missions, including surveillance, precision strikes, and electronic warfare, according to a report by the Project 2049 Institute. Since then, China has likely expanded its drone fleet significantly, with advanced technology that could rival or surpass U.S. capabilities, says Ian Easton, the report's lead author. Easton notes that Chinese drones resemble American models like the Predator and Global Hawk, likely due to cyber espionage efforts targeting U.S. technology. However, China's domestic research and development infrastructure also plays a crucial role in advancing their UAV systems. Easton emphasizes that Chinese military journals and official documents reveal a strategy to use drones in high-intensity warfare, envisioning swarm attacks on U.S. aircraft carriers with decoy drones followed by strike drones. While the U.S. has primarily used drones for reconnaissance and counterterrorism in regions like the Middle East, China is focusing on their use in conventional warfare scenarios. Their strategy involves using drones to dominate large-scale conflicts, showcasing their technological ambitions in modern military tactics. Easton explains that nearly every aerospace company in China is involved in developing UAVs, unlike other military tools, which are often limited to a few companies in specific regions. This broad involvement gives China's drone industry a massive scale, potentially enabling quicker innovation than the U.S. can achieve. He suggests that while the U.S. may not worry about China surpassing its submarines or fighter jets, UAVs are different. China's organized and expansive drone programs could lead to significant advancements in innovative weapon systems. In response to the growing UAV threat, the U.S. Navy is advancing toward deploying Helios, an advanced laser weapon designed to counter rising threats like drone swarms and anti-ship missiles. Developed by Lockheed Martin, Helios can unleash over 60 kilowatts of laser energy at targets up to 5 miles away. Installed on upgraded Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, it not only strengthens ship defenses, but also fills gaps in surveillance and counterintelligence. Rick Cordero of Lockheed Martin emphasized Helios's role in enhancing combat readiness, protecting sailors, and laying the groundwork for future laser weapon advancements. As part of the Navy's laser family of systems, this technology represents a significant leap forward. For 2023, the Navy requested $35 million to expand these laser capabilities, with plans to integrate them for operational use at sea. Helios offers unlimited ammunition and cost efficiency compared to traditional missiles and Gatling guns, which are expensive and require frequent reloading. These attributes make it especially effective against inexpensive drones and small attack boats. However, its functionality is limited by weather conditions and line-of-sight targeting, necessitating conventional weapons for larger or long-range threats. Despite these limitations, Helios is a breakthrough in naval defense, tackling modern challenges in a way that reduces costs and improves efficiency compared to current systems. It marks a crucial step in the Navy's mission to safeguard its fleet against evolving threats. The report, Navy Shipboard Lasers, Background and Issues for Congress, highlights China's extensive stockpile of UAVs and anti-ship missiles with the capacity to produce more. This poses a costly challenge for the U.S. Navy to defend against effectively. Tristan Sauer, a global data analyst, explains that targeting and countering potential swarms of small drones or vessels is a key concern. As drones increasingly integrate with manned systems, even resource-limited countries can deploy them on battlefields. Laser weapons offer an affordable solution with low-cost shots and nearly unlimited ammunition to counter such threats. Russia's invasion of Ukraine buttresses the challenges of limited munitions, as defense companies face production issues and supply chain disruptions. In contrast, lasers require minimal energy for significant impact, making them invaluable in sustained conflicts. Earlier laser systems, like the AN/SEQ-3 laws, tested on the USS Ponce, struggled with tiny targets and were not mass-produced due to operational challenges. However, its replacement, Helios, shows great promise for modern naval defenses. This advanced defense system targets drones and small boats using an adjustable infrared laser beam. It can destroy targets or disable sensors with precision, and its low cost per shot, requiring only energy instead of traditional ammunition, makes it highly efficient. Laws can temporarily blind or distract with low power, or destroy explosives and motors with high power. It can neutralize drones in seconds and disable boats by targeting motors, prioritizing platform damage over harming personnel. Developed with an $11 million contract in 2010, Laos uses radar to track and engage targets. Installed on the USS Ponce in 2014 for trials, it demonstrated the potential to counter drones, boats, and even small aircraft. LAWS focuses 6 welding lasers for a combined power output of up to 50 kilowatts, with future models expected to reach 100 kilowatts. This system is cheap to operate, costing about $1 per shot compared to expensive missiles. Though envisioned for short-range defense, its applications are expanding. Testing aboard the USS Ponce in the Persian Gulf evaluated its performance against environmental challenges like humidity, heat, and saltwater. The Navy sees LAWS as a pivotal step toward advanced marine laser weaponry. The LAWS can adjust its power to either send a harmless warning beam or deliver a destructive blast. Though its range is secret, it is effective against threats like Iran's small boats in the Strait of Hormuz, even though it wasn't built for any specific adversary. Fully operational since 2014, the system defends against drones, helicopters, and boats while following international rules prohibiting targeting humans. LAWS is cost-efficient, with shots costing just $0.59 compared to missiles. Powered by a diesel generator separate from the ship, it uses commercial laser components and special Navy software. Mounted on the USS Ponce, it doubles as a surveillance tool, earning comparisons to the Hubble telescope. Sailors trained on it daily with video game-like controls, making it user-friendly. It performed reliably in harsh conditions like humidity and dust storms. Its strong performance encouraged the Navy to consider equipping other ships, and it remained on the USS Ponce throughout its deployment. After reviewing different ships for space, power, and cooling capabilities, the Navy decided to move the LAWS system to the USS Portland following the USS Ponce's decommissioning in 2018. While it was mounted on the deck, LAWS wasn't fully integrated into the ship's defense systems, as it was still in the testing phase. However, LAWS faced limitations, such as slow charging capacitors and difficulties in combining lasers. These issues were addressed with the introduction of Helios, which was designed to provide a more reliable and efficient laser weapon system. In 2018, the Navy contracted Lockheed Martin to develop 2 Helios units, one for the USS Arleigh Burke and one for land testing. Unlike earlier models, Helios uses the ship's existing power for continuous operation, which eliminates the need for external energy sources. The new Helios system offers key improvements, such as more powerful lasers capable of reaching up to 50 kilowatts, compared to losses as 30 kilowatts. It is integrated into the ship alongside the Aegis weapon system, modernizing both systems. It features advanced spectral beam, combining fiber lasers that offer better beam quality and can effectively target fast-moving objects at greater distances. Additionally, Helios includes the optical dazzling interdictor navy, which disrupts enemy sensors by targeting electro-optical and infrared systems. This technology is integrated into the ship's command and control system, offering a significant advantage. Along with its defensive and dazzling capabilities, Helios also serves surveillance functions, though specifics on these are still under wraps. The Helios system is designed to handle multiple missions, including surveillance, with its capabilities continuing to grow as the Navy refines tactics and procedures through at-sea operations. The exact use of the weapon at sea remains unclear, and while Lockheed Martin did not confirm if it will be deployed on other ships, they stated it can be adapted for different vessels and combat systems. The Navy tested another laser weapon on the USS Portland in 2023, successfully disabling a drone. Following this, Helios underwent land-based testing in Virginia and is now ready for installation, with at-sea tests beginning in 2023. These trials will offer critical insights for future developments. The next challenge will be fully integrating the system into the Navy's layered defense strategy. Integrating a laser system into a ship and its combat system is vital for effective directed energy warfare. The system must be designed to work seamlessly within the ship's existing infrastructure, such as the Aegis combat system on Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. It should fit the ship's space, weight, and power limits while functioning as part of a layered defense strategy. While the laser system is tailored for Arleigh Burke-class ships, it can be adapted to other vessels or combat systems due to its scalable and modular design. The system's power can be increased to as much as 120 kilowatts, depending on the ship's capabilities, allowing it to be installed on future ships like the Constellation-class frigates or the next-generation guided missile destroyer. This flexibility is critical as the Navy explores ways to expand its use of laser weapon systems. The Navy is the most likely starting point for deploying laser weapons in the U.S. military because naval ships already have significant energy resources. However, there are challenges in fitting the system on smaller ships, which face space and power limitations. This poses a unique challenge as the technology evolves and must be adapted to various platforms. The development of laser systems in the U.S. military comes at a time when global competitors are also advancing their own laser technologies. While China and Russia do not yet have advanced laser systems on par with the U.S., experts believe lasers could become more common in the coming years. Mick Ryan from the Center for Strategic and International Studies noted that although laser systems are being installed on ships now, it will likely take more time to see their use on land-based systems. In the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Russia has claimed to use an experimental laser system, Zadira, but its effectiveness is unclear. There is skepticism about the real impact of Russia's claims, as the country often exaggerates its technological capabilities. Nevertheless, the use of unmanned aerial systems in the conflict is expected to drive progress in laser and other advanced technologies. This development could potentially influence how lasers are integrated into future military operations worldwide. As the U.S. continues to develop and refine laser technology, its rivals are likely to pursue similar advancements. However, the adaptability and modularity of the Helios system give the U.S. Navy a significant edge in future naval defense, ensuring that its lasers remain relevant and effective in countering emerging threats. The U.S. Air Force also plans to expand its fleet of collaborative combat aircraft, autonomous drones designed to operate alongside advanced fighter jets. Andrew Hunter, the Air Force's acquisition chief, announced the purchase of additional CCAs for an experimental operations unit tasked with creating strategies and procedures for using these drones in real missions. CCAs can handle tasks like striking targets, surveillance, and signal jamming, complementing F-35s and the next-generation air dominance fighter. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall emphasized that CCAs should cost a fraction of an F-35, which is priced at $80 to $100 million. Contracts awarded in April to General Atomics and Enduril Industries focus on designing, building, and testing the first batch of CCAs. Future, more advanced versions of these drones are expected to follow as development continues. The initiative highlights the Air Force's commitment to integrating autonomous systems into modern warfare. Before collaborative combat aircraft are fully integrated into Air Force squadrons, the military needs to refine how they will be controlled and operate in combat. The Air Force's Experimental Operations Unit is collaborating with international allies like Australia, which has worked on Boeing's Ghostbat drone for several years. Having actual CCAs to experiment with is key to developing these tactics, Andrew Hunter said. The Air Force will acquire Enduril's Fury and General Atomics Gambit CCAs for testing, though exact numbers and timelines are unclear. Hunter emphasized the importance of speeding up production while planning for cost-effective manufacturing and long-term maintenance. Airworthiness standards for CCAs are being rethought since these drones don't carry pilots and are designed to be affordable. Hunter explained this shift, noting that traditional airworthiness standards won't always apply. Both General Atomics and Enduril recently passed critical design reviews, signaling readiness for the next development phase. Colonel Timothy Helfrich confirmed these milestones at a recent aerospace event. Flight tests for CCAs are scheduled for 2025, where their affordability and ability to complete assigned missions will be evaluated. Success in these tests will mark a significant step toward deploying these advanced autonomous systems in real-world operations. The world is on the brink of witnessing a groundbreaking achievement in aviation history. The United States military has teamed up with SpaceX on a top-secret hypersonic aircraft project that promises to redefine the limits of air travel. With SpaceX's innovative technology and the military's expertise, this partnership is set to create something once thought impossible. What exactly does this collaboration entail, and how will it change the future of aviation? Join us as we explore the details of the secret hypersonic aircraft that the U.S. military and SpaceX partner up for. The United States Department of Defense is reportedly interested in a bold new partnership with SpaceX, aiming to use the massive Starship rocket for its own high-stakes missions. According to Aviation Week, the Pentagon has proposed flying Starship as a government-owned, government-operated vehicle, giving the military full control over the spacecraft for particularly sensitive or dangerous operations. Currently, SpaceX works with the DoD as a launch service provider, where the company handles the logistics and operation of its rockets. However, this new arrangement would shift that dynamic significantly, allowing the Pentagon to take over the Starship system entirely. This move shows the growing importance of Starship's unique capabilities, such as its ability to carry heavy payloads and potentially perform rapid deployments anywhere on Earth or in space. By owning and operating Starship, the Department of Defense could explore a range of missions, from quick response logistics to advanced space-based operations, underscoring the rocket's potential as a game-changer for national security. This shift also reflects how government agencies are increasingly relying on cutting-edge commercial technology to achieve strategic goals. This is not the first time the United States would partner with SpaceX. In 2023, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket launched the USSF-52 mission into orbit from Florida's Launch Complex 39A. This mission includes the X-37B, a small space drone about the size of a bus, which resembles NASA's retired space shuttles. On its seventh journey, the X-37B performed advanced tests such as studying radiation effects on materials for NASA and exploring new orbital zones. This marks the first time the X-37B has flown on the powerful Falcon Heavy, capable of carrying massive payloads deep into space. The reusable drone, designed by Boeing and Lockheed Martin for the Air Force, has been in operation since 2010. It runs on solar power and has previously tested how radiation affects seeds and materials. The launch came shortly after China sent its secretive robotic spaceplane, Shenlong, into orbit for experiments and reusable technology tests, emphasizing peaceful space exploration. But that's not all. The Space Force's mysterious spacecraft is trying out an exciting new trick. The Space Force announced that the spacecraft will attempt a groundbreaking technique called aerobraking. This involves using the drag of Earth's atmosphere to adjust its orbit, saving precious fuel in the process. This announcement is unusual because the movements of such classified spacecraft are typically kept under wraps. By revealing this experiment, the Space Force highlights the impressive capabilities of its high-tech space program, sparking curiosity about what else this secretive craft might be able to do. This is the first time the X-37B, or the Space Force, has tried such a maneuver, showcasing the growing sophistication of space technology. Interestingly, this technique might feel familiar to fans of the 2014 sci-fi movie Interstellar. In the film, Matthew McConaughey's character, Joseph Cooper, uses a similar method to land on a distant planet without burning extra fuel. By attempting aerobraking in real life, the X-37B is pushing the boundaries of what's possible in space exploration, turning science fiction into reality. According to Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall, the Space Force is also breaking new ground with a series of smart and efficient maneuvers, showing its dedication to innovation during critical national security missions. The move is more than just a technical feat. It's a big step toward responsible space operations. The Space Force announced that the importance of using the advanced aerobraking technique is to safely dispose of unnecessary parts from its X-37B spacecraft. Instead of leaving debris in a higher orbit, where it could linger for years and risk colliding with satellites, the team is ensuring everything is disposed of according to strict space debris guidelines. This decision shows the growing global concern about space junk, especially after incidents like Russia's satellite breakup in June, which created over 100 pieces of hazardous debris. Todd Harrison, a space policy expert at the American Enterprise Institute, praised the Space Force's efforts, saying it sets an example for commercial companies, governments, and other nations. Harrison explained that they are showing how responsible space operators should act. Don't litter if you can avoid it. While aerobraking is a common practice for NASA and private companies, this marks the first time the Space Force has attempted it with the X-37B, a top-secret spacecraft it has operated since 2020. Harrison added that this move isn't about taking risks, but about gaining confidence in the spacecraft's capabilities and exploring what it can achieve. This bold step by the Space Force to push boundaries and explore new possibilities with the X-37 reflects the same adventurous spirit that has driven pioneers in space exploration. Speaking of trailblazers, few have captured the world's imagination like Elon Musk. So how did his fascination with space exploration begin? During a trip to Russia, Elon Musk was so insulted by the way he was treated that it changed the course of his life. He had gone to negotiate a deal to buy rockets for a planned mission to Mars, where he dreamed of creating a greenhouse called Mars Oasis. However, the dismissive behavior he encountered sparked his determination to compete with Russia instead. Former NASA Deputy Administrator Lori Garver described the moment in her book, comparing it to the legendary story of Helen of Troy. If Helen had a face that launched 1,000 ships, this was the spit that launched 1,000 spaceships. Musk founded SpaceX less than a year later in 2001, turning it into a major player in space exploration. Over the years, SpaceX has become a fierce rival to Russia's Soyuz rocket, solidifying Musk's reputation as a game-changer in the space industry. SpaceX co-founder Jim Cantrell and author Ashley Vance have also highlighted this pivotal moment in documentaries and Musk's biography, showing how one insult fueled Musk's bold vision for the future of space travel. Elon Musk named his first rocket Falcon as a tribute to the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Falcon 1, a two-stage rocket designed for orbital launches, cost around $100 million to develop. A year later, SpaceX introduced its second spacecraft, the Dragon, inspired by the song Puff the Magic Dragon. Musk chose the name as a playful nod to skeptics who dismissed his ambitious space plans as fantasy. At the time, SpaceX was one of the few companies daring to build commercial space rockets. Musk, fresh off the success of PayPal's sale to eBay, invested a third of his fortune into the venture by 2006. NASA also supported the company with $278 million through its Commercial Orbital Transportation Services program, while the Department of Defense funded the first 2 Falcon launches. What began as a bold gamble quickly set SpaceX apart as a leader in the new age of space exploration. That same year, SpaceX's first rocket launch ended in failure due to a fuel leak, and a fire caused by a corroded fuel line nut damaged by ocean spray. To fix the issue, SpaceX switched from aluminum hardware to stainless steel in its rocket design. Despite the improvement, the next two launches also failed. The rockets successfully completed the first stage, but couldn't make it to orbit after stage separation. These setbacks nearly bankrupted SpaceX, putting the entire company on the brink of collapse. At the same time, Elon Musk was struggling to keep Tesla afloat, facing enormous financial pressure. According to Eric Berger's book, Liftoff, Musk was so overwhelmed by stress that he often woke up from nightmares, screaming and in physical pain. These early failures tested Musk and his companies to their limits, but they also laid the foundation for SpaceX's eventual rise as a leader in space exploration. On September 28, 2008, SpaceX made history with the first successful launch of its Falcon 1 rocket from Omelek Island in the Marshall Islands. This marked a groundbreaking moment as it was the first privately funded rocket to reach orbit, breaking the dominance of government-run space programs and proving that private companies could compete in the high-stakes space industry. Interestingly, SpaceX made no major changes to the rocket's design between its third and fourth launches. Instead, they adjusted the timing between the first stage burnout and the second stage separation, addressing the issue that caused the previous failure. In a two-stage rocket like Falcon 1, the first stage, or booster, provides the initial powerful push before separating, while the second stage takes over to carry the payload into orbit. Elon Musk later reflected on these tense times, admitting in an interview that he messed up the first three launches all by himself. The fourth launch was their last chance. If it had failed, SpaceX would have been done. But fate smiled on them that day. The success of the fourth launch was a game-changer. It not only saved the company, but also helped SpaceX secure additional funding from NASA and private investors, giving it the financial stability needed to continue innovating. The Falcon 1 rocket, having proved its worth, was retired after its fifth and final launch in 2009, paving the way for more advanced SpaceX rockets like the Falcon 9. This milestone wasn't just a victory for SpaceX. It reshaped the space industry, opening the door for private companies to play a significant role in space exploration. SpaceX has achieved incredible milestones in space exploration, starting with its Dragon 1 spacecraft. In 2012, the Dragon 1 became the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, a historic moment that led to several more contracts between NASA and SpaceX. Interestingly, Dragon 1 completed 23 cargo missions to the ISS before being retired in 2020. Meanwhile, SpaceX began developing Dragon 2 in 2014, a more advanced version designed to carry both astronauts and cargo, marking another step toward revolutionizing space travel. However, SpaceX's journey wasn't without challenges. In 2015, disaster struck when a Falcon 9 rocket exploded just 2 minutes after liftoff while carrying supplies to the ISS. The cause was traced to a steel strut holding a helium pressure vessel that broke under the launch's intense forces. Another failure occurred in 2016 when a Falcon 9 exploded during a pre-launch static fire test. These setbacks tested the company's resilience and commitment to innovation. SpaceX bounced back later in 2016 with a groundbreaking achievement, successfully recovering the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket on a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. This recovery was more than a technical feat, it was a game-changer. Reusing rocket stages reduced SpaceX's costs by about 30% according to Musk. By 2017, SpaceX began offering payload launches on reused rockets at a 10% discount, further proving its ability to innovate while saving costs. In a bold mix of ambition and whimsy, SpaceX launched a cherry red Tesla Roadster into space in 2018. Behind the wheel was Starman, a mannequin dressed in a futuristic SpaceX spacesuit. Musk called it the silliest thing we can imagine for a test payload, and it turned out to be just as iconic as practical. The car is still speeding through space, making it the fastest sports car ever. A dedicated website, whereasroadster.com, tracks its incredible journey. As of December 20, the Roadster was over 200 million miles from Earth, zooming away at an astonishing 6,473 miles per hour. SpaceX didn't stop there. This company achieved a groundbreaking moment in 2020, reigniting human spaceflight from U.S. soil after nearly a decade. On May 30, the Crew Dragon spacecraft, atop a Falcon 9 rocket, carried astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken into orbit. It was the first time humans had flown on a SpaceX rocket and the first U.S. launch of astronauts aboard a new spacecraft since the Space Shuttle's debut in 1981. This milestone was part of NASA's Commercial Crew program, which aimed to develop private spacecraft for crewed missions. Later in 2020, NASA certified SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon system, ending the United States' dependence on Russia's Soyuz rocket for transporting astronauts to the International Space Station. SpaceX's Starship project represents an even grander vision, settling Mars. In May 2021, Starship achieved its first suborbital test flight without exploding, marking a significant step toward Musk's dream of building self-sustaining colonies on the Red Planet. Starship, paired with the Super Heavy booster, is designed to be a fully reusable rocket system. This ambitious design aims to drastically cut space travel costs by a factor of 100 or more, according to Musk. NASA has also selected Starship for its Artemis program, intending to land astronauts on the moon for the first time since 1972. The road to success hasn't been smooth. At SpaceX's Texas facility, early Starship prototypes often met fiery ends, exploding during flight or failing to land safely. But the fifth prototype finally landed intact, proving the feasibility of reusing the rocket's second stage. Now SpaceX is focusing on sending Starship into orbit with the Super Heavy booster. While the date for this monumental test flight remains uncertain, it represents a giant leap toward making Mars colonization a reality. From launching a Tesla into space to building rockets for Mars, SpaceX continues to redefine what humanity can achieve among the stars. SpaceX made another daring leap toward the future of space exploration with the launch of its colossal Starship rocket on Thursday. Powered by the massive Super Heavy booster, the uncrewed rocket lifted off smoothly and soared into the sky, marking an incredible first for the ambitious spacecraft. For nearly 3 minutes, everything appeared to go as planned, with the rocket blazing a trail through the atmosphere. However, things took a turn when Starship was supposed to separate from the booster and continue its journey into orbit. Instead, the rocket began spiraling out of control, leading to a fiery explosion. SpaceX engineer and livestream announcer John Insprucker humorously referred to the incident as a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. Despite the outcome, the event was far from a failure for SpaceX. This was the first time the Starship and Super Heavy booster launched together, and even reaching liftoff was a significant achievement. The plan was for the rocket to spend about an hour at orbital altitudes before splashing down in the ocean, but SpaceX engineering manager Kate Tice noted that clearing the launch tower alone was a major milestone. Elon Musk, SpaceX's founder, remained optimistic, calling the launch exciting and congratulating his team. Musk had been upfront about the challenges, stating beforehand that the launch had only a 50% chance of success. Yet the attempt pushed the boundaries of what's possible and provided valuable insights for the next launch. Starship is central to Musk's vision for the future. Designed to carry humans and cargo to the moon, Mars, and beyond, it represents the next frontier in reusable rocketry. With every test, including this one, SpaceX is learning and improving, inching closer to making space travel more accessible and affordable. While the explosion might grab headlines, the bigger story is about determination and innovation. For SpaceX, even setbacks are steps forward on the path to reaching the stars. As Musk and his team gear up for the next attempt, the world watches with anticipation for what's next in this thrilling journey. In September 2021, billionaire Jared Isaacman led a groundbreaking space mission unlike any before. He and 3 other civilians boarded SpaceX's Crew Dragon Resilience, launching atop a Falcon 9 rocket for a 3-day adventure in orbit. This historic flight marked the first time a crewed mission went to space without any professional astronauts. Even more inspiring, the mission had a heartfelt purpose: raising funds and awareness for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The effort brought in over $243 million, making it a journey of both discovery and generosity. SpaceX, the company behind this incredible mission, has been smashing records for over 20 years. Last year, it set an extraordinary milestone with its Falcon 9 rocket achieving 101 flawless launches in a row, the longest streak for any single rocket type. By October, SpaceX set another record, completing 48 Falcon 9 launches in just 10 months. This streak highlighted SpaceX's reliability and efficiency as it continues to push the limits of space exploration. As one of the most valuable private companies in the world, with a valuation exceeding $100 billion, SpaceX isn't just aiming for the stars, it's reshaping what's possible in spaceflight. Whether inspiring charitable missions or setting records, SpaceX proves that the future of space travel is brighter than ever. Despite his success in space exploration, Elon Musk has been labeled a far-right activist and even called a threat to democracy. Through his ownership of X, he's waded into global political disputes, sparking controversies from Brazil to Australia. He's also filed lawsuits aimed at silencing critics. His involvement in the Russo-Ukrainian war also became a global conversation. His Starlink satellite system, originally provided to Ukraine, has now been widely adopted by Russian forces, significantly improving their communication on the battlefield. While Starlink initially aided Ukrainian troops, Russian units have increasingly acquired the terminals, enhancing their operational coordination. This shift has transformed Russia's combat effectiveness, enabling better communication and more precise coordination. The use of Starlink has notably influenced key battles like the fall of Vuhledar. This development raises concerns about SpaceX's role in preventing enemy access to the system, especially when both sides operate in close proximity. His involvement in politics goes deeper than that. During the 2024 United States presidential race, he publicly backed Donald Trump and supported a key political action committee that aided Trump's re-election. Now he's playing a major role in shaping the next administration, with President-elect Trump appointing him to help lead a Department of Government Efficiency. This advisory group will collaborate with the White House and Congress to streamline and downsize the federal government. The Israeli Air Force has acquired a powerful weapon to stop Iranian hypersonic missiles. This weapon, a high-tech laser system, may be silent and invisible, but its ability to identify and intercept almost 100% of targets in just seconds is mind-blowing. This laser system has not only distinguished the country in the realm of military aviation, but also made it a formidable force to be reckoned with. What are the capabilities of this laser system? And have they been able to counter continuous threats from organizations like Hamas? Join us as we reveal how Israel unveils the 1 billion laser that can neutralize missiles. In late October 2024, Israel declared that its pioneering Iron Beam laser defense system would be operational in about a year. The system marks a leap forward in the defense arena and is described by officials as a new age in warfare. The announcement comes at a time where hostilities are aggravated by the war of drones and missiles, in which Iran and its regional allies are significant players. Iron Beam has been a key national development priority for Israel, with over $500 million allocated for contracts with defense giants like Rafael Advanced Defense Systems and Elbit Systems, both renowned for cutting-edge technologies such as defense products like the Iron Dome missile defense system. The Iron Beam projection intends to extend to high-power laser technology interception of threats, missiles, drones, rockets, and mortars parallel to the Iron Dome. Officially named the Shield of Light, Iron Beam is a high-energy laser weapon system of 100 kilowatts class introduced first by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems in 2014. Rafael, who developed the Iron Dome, is the leading contractor for the Advanced Defense Project. Unlike missile-based systems, Iron Beam directs energy toward a threat, intercepting it and destroying it, providing a new dimension in cost-effective defensive layering. In the words of the Israeli Ministry of Defense, Iron Beam will hit projectiles using cost-effective and efficient methods. Laser intercepts cost significantly less than anything present missile defense systems can accomplish. As stated by Eyal Zamir, the ministry's Director General, recognizing the system's strategic importance, the initial capability of the ground-based laser system is anticipated to be operationalized within 1 year. Israel unveiled the Advanced Iron Beam Laser Defense System in 2021 and embarked on a multi-year journey to bring it to operational readiness. On November 1, 2024, officials announced that the system is expected to be fully operationalized within a year. The Iron Beam employs ground laser defenses with high power to neutralize incoming projectiles through their most vulnerable points, such as engines or warheads, with extreme heat until they collapse. This course of action is completely unlike the traditional missile defense systems of Israel, such as the Iron Dome, which helps identify threats using radar and missiles that destroy them in the air. The new Iron Beam would establish vast gaps between previous systems and itself. Each missile associated with the Iron Dome costs approximately $50,000, thus making it expensive for each interception as it requires 2 interception missiles. Comparatively, this laser system utilizes electricity and laser technology, and the cost per interception is significantly reduced. Experts also hail its speed and efficiency as it rapidly neutralizes multiple threats without the use of explosive payloads. The system can operate at ranges from several hundred meters to a few kilometers, allowing it to cover a broad spectrum of possible threats. Israel needs urgent development of the laser system to counter the increased threats in the region. On an average day, the IDF reports rocket, missile, and drone interception activity. As an example, on October 29, approximately 50 projectiles were launched from southern Lebanon into Israel territory, with some intercepted and others striking their targets. Such attacks speak to the need for a creative defense system that is cost-effective and scalable with respect to ongoing threats. However, Israel already unveiled a prototype of the Iron Beam, known as the Iron Dome, in years past and has since been working to get it up and running. Initially in 2011, Israel first deployed the Iron Dome, a state-of-the-art missile defense system that has successfully intercepted thousands of UFOs launched from the Gaza Strip. This system has provided a sense of safety to residents, and Israelis frequently observe the projectiles being destroyed in the sky. However, the current conflict with the militant Hamas group in Gaza may pose the most challenging test the Iron Dome has faced yet. The Iron Dome was revealed as a sophisticated defense system that utilizes radars to track and intercept short-range UFOs. Each battery is equipped with 3 to 4 launchers, 20 missiles, and radar, and is jointly produced by the U.S. defense giant Raytheon and Israel's Rafael Defense Systems. The system's radar detects incoming UFOs and determines whether they are headed towards populated areas or open spaces. If the UFO is headed toward a populated area, the system launches a missile to destroy it before it reaches its target. However, if the UFO is headed towards an open area or the sea, the system allows it to land, thus saving missiles. Although there is no concrete information on the total number of currently deployed Iron Dome batteries, it has been reported that Israel had 10 batteries spread throughout the country as of 2021. As per Raytheon, each of these batteries can defend an area of 60 square miles or 155 square kilometers. The Iron Dome is a vital component of a multi-layered air defense system that also includes the Arrow, which intercepts long-range ballistic UFOs, and David's Sling, which intercepts medium-range UFOs like those in possession of Hezbollah in Lebanon. However, since the Iron Beam does more than just cost-effectively protect a point, unlike other missile systems, it directs energy at a threat to intercept and destroy it. Will the Iron Beam replace the well-tested Iron Dome? Certainly not. The Iron Beam is intended to supplement rather than replace the Iron Dome, which actually serves as a short-range defense layer capable of destroying threats up to 4.3 miles away. Most importantly, on the other hand, it fires continuously as long as it has the power, a situation that contrasts strikingly with missile interceptors, which come with physical stockpiles. The appeal of laser systems, according to defense analyst Black, comes down largely to their magazine depth, which, while finite because of energy and part restrictions, massively exceeds the loadout capacity of missile batteries. Cost effectiveness is another of the strong aspects. Iron Dome interceptor missiles would cost approximately $40,000 to $50,000 each. In contrast, operational costs of interception through energy and Iron Beam are at least comparatively far lower. This difference is very meaningful against the backdrop of the huge costs incurred by Israeli interceptors with regard to cheap threats such as Qassam rockets of Hamas under $1,000 each, or under $30,000 for Shahed 130,000 drones from Iran. Integrating Iron Beam into the defense architecture allows the optimal allocation of kinetic interceptors to the highest priority threats, while relying on the laser system for those less costly or more likely to be available. It is very important and critical in bringing Israel's defense strategy forward. This would involve laser-based shields superseding existing ones, such as Iron Dome and David's Sling, which would have other advantages in being less costly, sustainable, and efficient means to counter modern projectiles and drone targets. This kind of advanced technology is evidence of how Israel continues to take its commitments to remain strategically ahead in what is now increasingly becoming a world defined by high-tech and asymmetrical threats in warfare. Rafael, the company responsible for developing these systems, claims that they are around 90% effective since they can be overwhelmed by a barrage of rockets, which could lead to some UFOs evading interception. While these systems have performed well, the risk of failure may increase if Hezbollah, with its estimated arsenal of 150,000 missiles and UFOs, enters the battle. The Institute for National Security Studies estimates that each missile costs between $40,000 and $50,000. Furthermore, Israel has previously developed two UFO defense systems similar to the Iron Dome and Iron Beam in collaboration with the United States. Since Israel began its aerial attacks on Gaza, one fighter platform has stood out from the rest. The Israeli Air Force possesses a specialized variant of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, which many industry experts consider to be the most powerful fifth-generation platform in the sky. Interestingly, Israel was the first country to acquire a modified version of the F-35 outside the airframe's nine-nation co-development program in 2010. This unique variant, known as the Adir, means Mighty One and is equipped with a range of domestically produced capabilities that cater to Israel's specific mission requirements. As the first fifth-generation stealth combat aircraft to enter operational service outside the USA, the Adir introduced new dimensions of air warfare, hitherto available only for the Israeli Air Force. The new fighter benefited from an extremely low radar signature, enabling it to operate undetected inside enemy territory and within UFOs' defended airspace, thus dominating airspace much larger than previous generation fighters could. Recently, the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) successfully used their newly acquired F-35 Adir fighter jets to shoot down incoming cruise UFOs, marking the first known instance of the American-made stealth fighter achieving such a feat. On November 2, 2023, the IDF released video footage of the interception, but did not disclose the specific launch site or the weapon used in the takedown. However, Israel's F-35-1 variants have advanced air-to-air missiles, including the AIM-9X Sidewinder and AIM-120 AMRAAM. With its aerodynamic performance and advanced integrated avionics, the F-35A will provide the Israeli Air Force with next-generation stealth, enhanced situational awareness, and reduced vulnerability. The conventional takeoff and landing, CTOL, F-35A gives the Israeli Air Force the power to dominate the skies anytime, anywhere. It is an agile, versatile, high-performance, capable multi-role fighter that combines stealth, sensor fusion, and unprecedented situational awareness. Besides, the F-35A's advanced sensor package is designed to gather, fuse, and distribute more information than any fighter in history, giving operators a decisive advantage over all adversaries. Its processing power, open architecture, sophisticated sensors, information fusion, and flexible communication links make the F-35 an indispensable tool in future homeland defense, joint and coalition irregular warfare, and major combat operations. Also, because logistics support accounts for 2/3 of an aircraft's lifecycle cost, the F-35 is designed to achieve unprecedented reliability and maintainability. It combines a highly responsive support and training system linked with the latest information technology. The Autonomic Logistics Information System, ALIS, integrates current performance, operational parameters, configuration, scheduled upgrades and maintenance, component history, predictive diagnostics, prognostics and health management, operations scheduling, training, mission planning, and service support for the F-35. Essentially, ALIS performs behind-the-scenes monitoring, maintenance, and prognostics to support the aircraft, ensure continued health, and enhance operational planning and execution. Furthermore, the F-35's electronic sensors include the Electro-Optical Distributed Aperture System, DAM. This system provides pilots with situational awareness in a sphere around the aircraft for enhanced UFOs warning, aircraft warning, and day and night pilot vision. Additionally, the aircraft is equipped with the Electro-Optical Targeting System, EOTS. The internally mounted EOTS provides extended range detection, precision targeting against ground targets, and long-range detection of air-to-air threats. Additionally, the F-35's helmet-mounted display system is the most advanced system of its kind. The helmet's visor displays all the intelligence and targeting information an F-35 pilot needs to complete the mission. The F-35 contains state-of-the-art tactical data links that secure data sharing among its flight members and other airborne, surface, and ground-based platforms required to perform assigned missions. The commitment of JSF partner nations to common communications capabilities and web-enabled logistics support will enable a new level of coalition interoperability. These capabilities allow the F-35 to lead the defense community in the migration to the net-centric warfighting force of the future. The engine produces 43,000 pounds of thrust and consists of a 3-stage fan, a 6-stage compressor, an annular combustor, a single-stage high-pressure turbine, and a 2-stage low-pressure turbine. The F-35 is designed to provide the pilot with unsurpassed situational awareness, positive target identification, and precision strikes in all weather conditions. Mission systems integration and outstanding over-the-nose visibility features enhance pilot performance dramatically. While the F-35 is not as fast as its predecessors, it is designed to fly longer and faster than most fighter jets. It uses internally stored fuel and armament, thus maintaining the aircraft's low observable characteristics. Such sensor fusion and cooperative mission performance will enable ADIR to operate autonomously without dependency and support on other aircraft that may be vulnerable to enemy defenses or provide early warning to the enemy. Moreover, in a groundbreaking aerial defense operation, the Israel Defense Forces announced the successful use of their F-35 Wa'adir fighter jets to intercept a cruise UFO, showcasing the stealth aircraft's advanced capabilities. In the first 2 weeks of the current conflict, Hamas has launched approximately 7,000 rockets and UFOs towards Israel, according to the Israeli military. This marks a significant increase compared to the number of UFOs fired during the previous 4 wars between Israel and Hamas since the militant group took control of Gaza in 2007. Lebanon's militant Hezbollah group has also fired hundreds of UFOs along Israel's northern front since the fighting began. However, corroborating intelligence sources indicate that on the night of April 13, 2024, for the first time in history, a highly coordinated and unprecedented attack against Israel was launched, covering over 300 drones and missiles from Iran, while Hezbollah fired dozens of Grad rockets in an active simultaneous assault on Israel Defense Forces (IDF) positions in the Golan Heights. Thus, the attack was timed to overwhelm the country's enormous air defense systems and triggered a reticulate exceptional reaction from those systems. The Israeli Arrow 3 interceptors, a critical component of the country's multi-layered missile defense system, were designed to counter long-range ballistic missile threats, developed jointly by Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI, and Boeing. The Arrow 3, one of the world's most advanced missile defense technologies, knocks those missiles out at the highest altitudes while still in space and closer to the ground. Similarly, David's Sling, another medium-range missile defense system, intercepts more targets, which is somewhat similar to the Patriot system used by Washington. Finally, Israel's famed Iron Dome has taken advantage of the short-range enemy and drones it encountered during this assault. Even the U.S. forces deployed in the area joined the act by shooting down many attackers with their warships and aircraft. Although such an operation would have been complex in scale, most of the above integrated air defense systems performed remarkably against efforts to attack within the entirety of the attack. It is to say that on most occasions, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, rockets, and drones were destroyed or intercepted before they could wreak havoc. Still, not all the defenses were impenetrable. 9 Iranian missiles were reported to have breached the shield and hit Nevatim and Ramon air bases, injuring one by shrapnel. Such little damage only re-emphasized the level of stress-coordinated waves of attack placed even on the most advanced systems. An instance of such an offensive should highlight the perennial problem of defense planners in Israel. According to James Black, Assistant Director of RAND Europe, an independent think tank nonprofit, it is a narrow strip of land with densely populated cities, not much depth. That is why intercepting threats in flight becomes that much more precious. In attacking, the potential performance proved finely impressive during the defense intervention in geo-warfare. Yet the volume of incoming projectiles amounts to inferior equity, a trial of capacity and depletion of interceptor stocks. It is a strategy planned by adversaries to exploit the limits of defenses. Indeed, the attack of April 13 could showcase not only the resilience of Israel's sky-high air defense network, but also show the fact that such a confrontation would be numerically driven. It will remind planners in the Israeli military starkly about evolving threats they have to contend with, as well as the necessity for keeping the technological edge because of how increasingly complicated and large-scale attacks are required to keep their nation safe. Additionally, the Israeli Defense Force is relying on its fleet of Merkava main battle tanks in the event of a ground invasion of Gaza. These tanks have served Israel's armored corps for over 4 decades and have undergone several upgrades. The latest variant, Merkava Mark IV, can fire at moving targets while on the move. It is also designed to withstand unmanned aerial vehicle assaults better than some of its counterparts. The most significant feature of the recent Merkava variants is the Trophy Active Protection System. As described by Military Today, the Trophy system employs an ELTA Active Electronically Scanned Array, AASA, fire control radar equipped with 4 flat panel antennas that offer a 360-degree view of the vehicle's surroundings. This system boasts a quick reaction time, as it can detect an incoming projectile and calculate the optimal angle, time, and approach vector to fire countermeasures. The defensive munitions, consisting of several small, explosively formed projectiles, are stored in 2 rotating launchers on the vehicle's sides. Once launched, these munitions detonate and create an exact and dense cloud of explosive shrapnel. The success of the Trophy system in combat has given the IDF a boost in offensive capabilities on the battlefield. In the event of a ground invasion of Gaza, the Merkava outfitted with the Trophy system is undoubtedly a crucial asset. While numerous lethal weapons are available, some are more effective than others when it comes to overcoming the defense systems of UFOs. Israel, on the other hand, has developed advanced techniques for controlling the airspace, which makes it difficult for other countries to invade. However, by integrating many of these advanced laser technologies into its defenses, Israel hopes to deepen its security and technological lead on a battlefield increasingly focused on drones and missiles. The Iron Beam is expected to provide fast and accurate responses to all kinds of threats, thus altering the course of modern warfare. America's deadliest weapon may now be in private hands. At a top-secret military base, figures in hazmat suits load a sleek, black bomb onto a gleaming F-15 Eagle. With razor-sharp fins and an eerie design, this isn't just any bomb. It's the legendary Stormbreaker. So precise it can strike a target from 68 miles away in darkness. But here's the twist. Could this smart bomb surpass nuclear power? And what hidden secrets lie in Stormbreaker's true capabilities? Join us as we unveil what Elon Musk discovered as he explores the dangerous Stormbreaker on the F-15 Eagle. The quest for military advantage is as old as humanity itself. From the first crude spears to today's precision-guided missiles, weapons have evolved to increase both damage and safety for their users. But perhaps no development has been as revolutionary as the journey from dumb bombs to today's intelligent weapons. In the early days of aerial warfare, bombing was surprisingly primitive. When pilots dropped bombs from aircraft in World War I, they essentially relied on gravity and good luck. These early airmen would lean out of their cockpits, eyeball their targets, and release bombs by hand, often missing their targets by hundreds of yards. During World War II, bombing accuracy improved but still required massive raids, dropping thousands of bombs to hit a single target. The turning point came after World War II, when American military planners realized they needed something better. The concept of smart bombs emerged from a simple but powerful idea. What if bombs could guide themselves to targets? This marked the beginning of a technological revolution that would transform aerial warfare. The first breakthrough came with the development of radio-guided bombs in the late 1940s. These weapons could be steered remotely by operators watching their trajectory. While innovative, these early guided bombs were still limited by the technology of their time. Bad weather, smoke, or clouds could easily disrupt guidance systems. The next major leap forward happened in the 1960s with the introduction of laser-guided bombs. These weapons could follow a laser beam pointed at the target by aircraft or ground forces, dramatically improving accuracy. But even laser guidance had limitations, as smoke, dust, or bad weather could scatter the laser beam and cause the bomb to miss. The 1970s brought a game-changing innovation: GPS guidance. By using satellite signals to determine their position, bombs could now navigate to precise coordinates regardless of weather conditions. This technology formed the backbone of the Joint Direct Attack Munition Program, which transformed existing unguided bombs into smart weapons by adding GPS guidance kits. Each of these developments addressed specific problems but still had limitations. Laser guidance needed a clear sight of the target. GPS guidance could be jammed or disrupted. Infrared guidance could be fooled by countermeasures. Military planners dreamed of a weapon that could overcome all these limitations. This dream led to the development of multi-mode guidance systems. Instead of relying on a single guidance method, these new weapons would combine different technologies. If one guidance system failed or was blocked, the weapon could switch to another method to reach its target. The Stormbreaker represents the pinnacle of this evolution. Unlike its predecessors, it combines 3 different guidance systems: radar for tracking through clouds and smoke, infrared imaging for detailed target identification, and laser guidance for ultimate precision. This triple-threat approach makes it nearly impossible to defeat through traditional countermeasures. But Stormbreaker's innovations go beyond just guidance. Its compact size allows fighters to carry more bombs than ever before. Its gliding capability lets it strike targets from unprecedented distances, keeping aircraft safely out of danger. Most importantly, its advanced computer brain can actually communicate with the launching aircraft during flight, allowing it to update its target information even after release. The implications of these advances are profound. In World War II, it might have taken hundreds of bombers, dropping thousands of bombs to destroy a single factory. Today, one fighter carrying multiple Stormbreakers can achieve the same result with pinpoint accuracy, minimal collateral damage, and dramatically reduced risk to civilian lives. This evolution from crude aerial bombs to precision-guided weapons hasn't just changed how wars are fought. It's transformed the very nature of air power. Modern smart weapons like Stormbreaker can strike with surgical precision in any weather, day or night, through smoke and clouds, from distances that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. Looking back at this technological journey, it's remarkable to consider how far we've come from those early days of pilots dropping bombs by hand. Each generation of weapons solved problems that plagued their predecessors while introducing new capabilities that would have seemed like science fiction to earlier warriors. The Stormbreaker represents the current peak of this evolution, but if history is any guide, it won't be the last word in smart weapon development. From primitive aerial bombs to smart weapons, warfare has evolved dramatically. But just how advanced can these weapons become? Let's explore the revolutionary capabilities that make the Stormbreaker a game-changing weapon system. At just 212 pounds and measuring 69 inches in length, the Stormbreaker might seem modest compared to massive conventional bombs. But packed inside this compact frame are some of the most sophisticated weapons technology ever developed. Think of it as the smartphone of bombs, small but incredibly powerful and intelligent. The heart of Stormbreaker's capability lies in its unprecedented triple-threat targeting system. Imagine having 3 different ways to find your target, each compensating for the other's weaknesses. The millimeter-wave radar can track targets through clouds, smoke, and darkness. The infrared camera provides detailed thermal imaging to identify specific targets. The semi-active laser guidance offers pinpoint accuracy when conditions allow. What makes this system truly remarkable is how these 3 technologies work together. The bomb's computer brain can fuse data from all 3 sensors, creating a complete picture of the battlefield that no single system could achieve alone. If one targeting method is blocked or jammed, the others take over seamlessly. But Stormbreaker's innovations don't stop at targeting. Unlike traditional bombs that fall straight down, this weapon can glide up to 68 miles to reach stationary targets and 44 miles for moving targets. This standoff range keeps aircraft and pilots safely out of harm's way while still delivering precise effects. Perhaps most impressively, Stormbreaker maintains a digital conversation with its launching aircraft during flight. Through a secure data link, the bomb can receive updated target information even after release. If a target moves, the weapon adjusts. If priorities change, they can be redirected to a different target entirely. The weapon's versatility is equally impressive. Its multi-effects warhead can be effective against a wide range of targets, from armored vehicles to patrol boats to reinforced structures. Yet its precision means it can strike within 1 meter of the intended target, minimizing unintended damage. Stormbreaker also represents a significant advance in efficiency. Its small size allows fighters to carry up to 28 bombs compared to just a handful of larger weapons. The F-35 can carry 24 Stormbreakers, 8 internally without compromising stealth, and 16 on external mounts when stealth isn't required. The weapon's uncooled infrared seeker represents another innovation. By eliminating the need for cooling systems, designers reduced both cost and complexity while maintaining effectiveness. This practical approach to advanced technology helps make Stormbreaker more affordable and reliable. In adverse weather conditions like rain, snow, dust storms, or darkness, when other weapons might be grounded, Stormbreaker can still operate effectively. This all-weather capability ensures military forces can maintain operations regardless of environmental conditions. Looking ahead, Stormbreaker's modular design allows for future upgrades as technology advances. Its sophisticated software can be updated to counter new threats or incorporate improved capabilities, ensuring the weapon remains effective for years to come. But while these technical capabilities are impressive, they raise an intriguing question. In an era where weapons can think, adapt, and communicate, what new ethical and strategic considerations must we contemplate about the future of warfare? With weapons as sophisticated as the Stormbreaker pushing the boundaries of precision warfare, which aircraft are capable of unleashing its full potential? The F-15E Strike Eagle stands as the pioneering platform for Stormbreaker integration, marking a significant evolution in air combat capability. This dual-role fighter, crewed by a pilot and a weapons systems officer, brings unique advantages to deploying this advanced weapon. The integration program, costing over $700 million in Department of Defense investments, represents one of the most ambitious weapon modernization efforts in recent history. The Strike Eagle's integration with Stormbreaker showcases a remarkable carrying capacity of up to 28 bombs using 7 BRU-61/A suspension units. This impressive payload, worth approximately $15 million per fully loaded aircraft, gives commanders unprecedented flexibility in mission planning. Each suspension unit can carry 4 Stormbreakers, dramatically increasing the number of potential targets that can be engaged in a single sortie. The integration process has required extensive modifications to the F-15E's already sophisticated avionics suite. The APG-70 radar system, capable of detecting targets from over 100 miles away, needed specific software updates to fully exploit Stormbreaker's capabilities. The aircraft's central computer required new algorithms to process the weapon's triple-mode seeker data and integrate it with the pilot's heads-up display and the WSO's tactical screens. Training requirements for crews have also evolved significantly. Pilots and WSOs now undergo an additional 3 weeks of specialized training to master Stormbreaker employment. This includes extensive simulator time practicing various combat scenarios, from engaging moving targets in adverse weather to coordinating multiple weapon strikes against complex target sets. Lieutenant Estefania Ortiz Santiago, an officer with the 391st Fighter Squadron, has been at the forefront of this integration. Her team has worked through numerous technical challenges, including developing new tactical employment procedures and resolving initial compatibility issues between the weapon's advanced sensors and the aircraft's legacy systems. The F-15E's low-altitude navigation and targeting infrared for night system plays a crucial role in this partnership. The system's terrain-following radar allows safe low-altitude flight in any weather condition, while its targeting pod provides precise laser designation capabilities. Recent upgrades allow the Lantern to share targeting data directly with Stormbreaker's onboard computer, enabling mid-flight target updates. The testing program at Eglin Air Force Base has been exhaustive, involving nearly 140 flight tests across various weather conditions and mission profiles. These tests have validated not just the weapon's performance, but also its integration with the aircraft's digital architecture. The program has already identified and resolved several critical issues, including modifications to the weapon's fin retention system. Looking beyond the F-15E, the F-35 Lightning II represents the next evolution in Stormbreaker deployment. This fifth-generation fighter can carry 24 Stormbreakers, 8 internally and 16 externally. The internal carrying capability maintains the F-35's stealth characteristics while still delivering significant strike potential. The integration process has required sophisticated modifications to the F-35's weapons bay, including custom-designed rack systems and cooling provisions. The United States Navy's integration plans for the F/A-18 Super Hornet demonstrate the weapon's joint service potential. Using the L3 Harris BRU-55 smart multiple carriage racks, each Super Hornet weapon station can carry 2 Stormbreakers. This integration required extensive testing of the aircraft's digital backbone to ensure proper communication between the weapon and the Super Hornet's advanced mission computers. International interest in Stormbreaker has grown significantly. Several allied nations operating F-15s and F-35s have expressed interest in acquiring the weapon, leading to complex discussions about technology transfer and integration requirements for foreign aircraft variants. The industrial base has responded to these integration challenges by developing new manufacturing processes. Raytheon has implemented advanced production techniques to ensure consistent quality across thousands of components while maintaining the precision required for the weapon's sophisticated guidance systems. Combat scenarios for Stormbreaker employment continue to evolve. The weapon's ability to engage moving targets in adverse weather conditions opens new tactical possibilities, particularly in anti-access/area denial environments. Integration with the F-15E's advanced sensors allows crews to engage multiple targets simultaneously, potentially changing how air campaigns are planned and executed. Future integration plans include potential compatibility with unmanned aircraft systems and next-generation fighters. The weapon's modular software architecture allows for regular updates to accommodate new platforms and capabilities, ensuring its relevance well into the future. The successful integration of Stormbreaker represents more than just adding a new weapon to the inventory. It marks a fundamental shift in air combat capabilities. The combination of advanced aircraft, precise weapons, and sophisticated integration creates a system that can operate effectively in any environment against any target set, truly revolutionizing modern air warfare. With the addition of advanced guided weapons and stealth technology, the landscape of aerial warfare has transformed, centering not just on raw power, but also on precision. The B-2 Spirit bomber, known for its stealth and ability to carry nuclear payloads, stands as one of the most advanced aircraft of its kind. Yet with the rise of highly accurate and adaptable weapons like the Stormbreaker and JDAM smart bombs, the role of such bombers is evolving. How do these new systems compare? And why does the B-2 Spirit remain irreplaceable in the realm of strategic bombers? The B-2 Spirit, often called the stealth bomber, represents a major leap in stealth technology. Introduced by Northrop Grumman, the aircraft has a unique flying wing shape devoid of vertical fins, which significantly reduces its radar signature. Its body is carefully crafted from materials that absorb radar waves, including a composite of carbon fibers and a coating known as radar-absorbent material. Unlike traditional aircraft, the Spirit's engines, fuel tanks, and weapons are housed internally, contributing to its low observability. As a result, it can penetrate dense air defense systems undetected, making it highly suitable for delivering nuclear or other high-impact payloads deep into enemy territory. Primarily intended as a nuclear bomber, the B-2 Spirit can also carry an array of conventional weapons. This flexibility allows it to support a wide range of missions, from strategic nuclear deterrence to precision conventional strikes. In terms of nuclear capabilities, the B-2 can be armed with up to 16 B-83 nuclear bombs, each weighing over 2,000 pounds, or carry 8,500-pound JDAM guided bombs, which are considered smart due to their precision targeting systems. JDAM bombs, short for Joint Direct Attack Munitions, convert dumb or unguided bombs into precision-guided weapons by adding a GPS-enabled guidance kit. This technology lets the B-2 and other aircraft precisely target enemy locations with JDAMs from high altitudes. While these bombs offer remarkable accuracy, their primary drawback is the need for proximity to the target. something that nuclear bombs like the B-61 can address due to their widespread destructive reach. In recent years, advanced bombs like the GBU-53 Stormbreaker, a type of glide bomb, have become an appealing choice for precision strikes. Glide bombs, unlike traditional bombs, lack an engine, which allows for a lighter structure and greater aerodynamic flexibility. The Stormbreaker, known for its precision within 3 feet of a target, offers a distinct tactical advantage. It minimizes collateral damage while maintaining pinpoint accuracy, something that is critical in today's conflict zones. Unlike JDAMs, which rely on a GPS-based targeting system, the Stormbreaker can also use infrared and laser targeting for additional accuracy, making it adaptable to various combat environments. While the JDAM program initially aimed to overcome targeting limitations in poor weather conditions, Stormbreaker represents a step forward in reducing potential damage to civilian areas while still achieving precise targeting results. On the nuclear front, the B-61 nuclear bomb represents the latest in tactical nuclear weaponry. The B-61 is highly adaptable, with a variable yield capability ranging from a low to high kiloton explosion, adjustable based on mission requirements. Unlike older nuclear bombs that required a parachute to slow descent and improve accuracy, the B-61 uses a modern tail kit, allowing for guided, precise delivery from high altitudes without the need for parachutes. This tail fin system helps guide the bomb for miles toward the target, offering improved control over the impact zone. Yet despite these improvements, deploying nuclear weapons remains a politically sensitive option, usually reserved as a last resort due to potential global repercussions. With so many choices, the question arises, why continue using strategic bombers like the B-2 for conventional missions when newer, smaller, and more versatile weapons like the Stormbreaker can be deployed on multi-role fighter jets? The answer lies partly in the bomber's unique ability to carry multiple types of munitions, including nuclear weapons, with a stealth capability unmatched by fighter jets. Moreover, while the Stormbreaker and JDAMs provide highly precise targeting, they lack the vast destructive capacity of nuclear bombs, which in certain scenarios can be deemed necessary for deterrence or overwhelming strikes against heavily fortified targets. In combat scenarios where civilian lives and infrastructure are at risk, smaller, precision-guided weapons such as the Stormbreaker are preferable because of their reduced collateral damage. This makes them ideal for tactical strikes where the mission requires minimal destruction beyond the intended target. Unlike the B-2's traditional nuclear payload, which could have a devastating effect on entire regions, smart bombs like the Stormbreaker focus their impact, preserving surrounding areas and allowing for quicker post-conflict recovery. However, there is one caveat. The Stormbreaker, although advanced, lacks the explosive power of larger JDAMs or nuclear options, which limits its effectiveness against heavily armored or underground facilities. JDAMs, by contrast, can pack up to 2,000 pounds of explosives, making them ideal for striking more fortified positions with precision. Ultimately, each of these weapons, from the JDAM and Stormbreaker to the B-61 nuclear bomb, serves a unique purpose on the modern battlefield, balancing the need for precision with the scale of destruction required. The B-2 Spirit, with its unparalleled stealth and ability to deliver both conventional and nuclear payloads, remains a critical asset for the United States military, especially in missions that require deep penetration into hostile airspace. In the future, new advancements in smart bomb technology might offer even greater precision and adaptability. Can the United States F-35 withstand the threat of Chinese hypersonic weapons? Recent advancements in China's hypersonic technology have raised global concerns, sparking questions about whether the United States is losing its technological edge. Does the U.S. have the capability to counter these hypersonic threats, or is it at risk of falling behind in this critical area of defense? Join us as we delve into the groundbreaking comparison of two ultimate weapons, the F-35 versus Chinese hypersonic threats. China is making fast progress in hypersonic missile technology, putting it at the forefront globally and raising concerns in the United States. One major example of their advancements is the DF-17 missile, which is designed for speed and precision. It is a medium-range ballistic missile that uses solid fuel and is road mobile, meaning it can be transported and launched from various locations. They have also made breakthroughs in thermal protection and cooling systems, which are crucial for managing the intense heat these missiles generate during flight. These developments give China a clear technological advantage, showing their growing strength in modern military innovation. It's certain that they are not stopping anytime soon, because they recently achieved another major breakthrough in hypersonic missile technology, particularly with its thermal protection system. Chinese scientists have made significant improvements by adding steel nose cones to their new missiles. This advancement is crucial because it enhances the missile's ability to survive the extreme conditions it faces during flight. In August, China also announced the development of an innovative cooling device designed to manage the intense heat generated during hypersonic flight. Hypersonic missiles travel at incredibly high speeds, which results in a huge buildup of heat. Without proper cooling, this heat could damage the missile's guidance system, affecting its accuracy and performance. With the new cooling technology, the missile is better equipped to withstand these extreme temperatures, making it less likely to malfunction. This improvement allows the missile to fly more effectively and remain undetected, increasing its chances of successfully reaching and eliminating its target. These technological advances are a significant step forward for China's hypersonic missile program, giving it a performance edge in the field of modern warfare. As the race for advanced weaponry intensifies, these innovations could change the future of missile technology and warfare. One member of Congress is raising concerns. Representative Doug Lamborn, who is part of the House Armed Services Committee, held a hearing for his subcommittee this spring. The mood was serious. One expert on the panel said the United States is clearly falling behind China. Jeffrey McCormick, an intelligence analyst with the Defense Intelligence Agency, stated that China now has the world's leading hypersonic arsenal. The United States still has reason for optimism. Surprisingly, one of the best American hypersonic missiles is being developed by the U.S. Army. Known as the Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon, or by its nickname, the Dark Eagle, this missile has impressive capabilities. It can travel at speeds exceeding 3,008 human miles per hour and has a range of 1,722. The Dark Eagle uses a road-mobile launcher, a feature also preferred by China for its missiles, making it a highly versatile weapon. According to the Army, the missile can fly to the top of the Earth's atmosphere and stay just out of reach of air and missile defense systems until it's ready to strike. By the time it's within range, it's already too late to react. Despite China's advancements, all is not lost for the U.S. The race to develop hypersonic missiles is critical, as China has made remarkable progress in this area. Their scientists have been steadily advancing hypersonic technology and already have fast, maneuverable missiles deployed. China's military continues to look for ways to improve these weapons, and its rapid progress is something the U.S. must be prepared to match. However, the United States is not far behind, and with the right focus and commitment, it can catch up to China. The issue lies in the way the U.S. military approaches hypersonic development. While China has been able to make steady, incremental advances in their missile technology, the United States has focused on separate programs across various branches of the military. This lack of coordination could slow progress. In contrast, China's approach is more streamlined, allowing them to make faster improvements and field more advanced systems. There's still a chance for the U.S. to regain its lead, but it will require strong, focused efforts. We have yet to experience a Sputnik moment where China might test a hypersonic missile in a high-profile launch that demonstrates its serious intentions to use these weapons for strategic purposes. A launch over Guam, for example, could be a powerful signal to the world of China's capabilities and intentions. Until such a moment happens, policymakers like Representative Doug Lamborn, who is raising concerns about the state of U.S. military technology, are crucial. They are pushing for the U.S. to stay focused on developing advanced hypersonic systems to counter China's growing missile capabilities. While there have been some obstacles and challenges in the development of American hypersonic weapons, the U.S. defense industry is known for its strength. With continued investment, collaboration, and focus, it's likely that the United States will catch up to China in this critical area of military technology. The arms race is far from over, and with the right strategy, the U.S. could still emerge as the leader in hypersonic missile technology. This leads us to one important question. Can the F-35 withstand the lethality of the Chinese hypersonic threat? Let's analyze the strength of this American airfighter. The F-35 Joint Strike Fighter is one of the most recognizable fighter jets in the world. Since it began service, this American-made fifth-generation aircraft has flown over 777,000 hours. Currently, 20 nations use the F-35, making it a vital tool for the U.S. and its allies. For years, the U.S. held air superiority with the introduction of the F-22 Raptor. However, both China and Russia now have their own fifth-generation jets and are working on sixth-generation designs. For now, the F-22 and F-35 remain America's top fighters. The F-35 mission systems are like the brain and eyes of the jet, making it one of the smartest aircraft ever built. Packed with advanced sensors and software, these systems give pilots a complete picture of their surroundings, making the jet a powerful tool in modern warfare. Key components include the APG-81 radar, which can track multiple targets over 150 kilometers away, and the Barracuda electronic warfare system, which can detect, jam, and protect against enemy radars. The jet also features a cutting-edge distributed aperture system with 6 infrared cameras that provide a full to 60-degree view, even at night. All this information is fused into a single clear display for the pilot, giving them unmatched situational awareness. Future upgrades include improved sensors, a more powerful radar, and even the ability to control drones during missions. With these advancements, the F-35 isn't just a fighter jet. It's a flying command center built for the future of air combat. Stealth is one of the F-35's most impressive features, making it hard for enemies to detect. Its unique design includes smooth, curved surfaces, precisely aligned edges, and radar-absorbing materials to minimize radar detection. Even the engine is cleverly hidden from view. The jet's advanced air intake system, called the diverterless supersonic inlet, further reduces its radar signature by eliminating gaps that could reflect signals. Remarkably, the F-35 radio cross-section is so small that it's been compared to the size of a metal golf ball from certain angles, even outperforming the stealthy F-22 in some scenarios. Its outer skin, made from durable radar-absorbent material, is designed to last longer and require less maintenance than older stealth aircraft like the F-22. The F-35 also reduces its infrared and visual signatures, making it harder to spot by heat or sight. It carefully manages its radio signals to avoid detection. While low-frequency radars can sometimes detect stealth aircraft, they are bulky, imprecise, and easy to locate, giving the F-35 a significant advantage. For training purposes, it can even use special reflectors to temporarily increase its radar signature. Its cockpit is like something out of a sci-fi movie, designed to give pilots maximum awareness and control. At its heart is a massive 20 by 8-inch touchscreen display, which shows everything from flight data to weapon systems and alerts. Pilots can customize the layout to fit their needs, making it incredibly user-friendly. Beneath this display is a smaller backup screen for emergencies, while advanced voice recognition technology allows hands-free commands. Unlike older jets with head-up displays on the dashboard, the F-35 uses a state-of-the-art helmet-mounted display system. This helmet projects flight and combat information directly onto the pilot's visor, so they can see critical data no matter where they're looking. It even integrates infrared and night vision, allowing pilots to see through the plane for incredible situational awareness. The helmet is so advanced that pilots can lock onto targets and fire missiles without pointing the aircraft directly at them. Each helmet costs a whopping $400,000, but its capabilities are game-changing. While the HMDS had some growing pains, like issues with vibration and night vision early on, it's now more reliable than ever. The latest version boasts improved cameras, sharper displays, and advanced alignment features. The F-35 cockpit and helmet work together to give pilots an unmatched edge in the skies, blending cutting-edge technology with pilot-friendly design. Without going on and on about the capabilities of the F-35, to answer the question, it is unlikely for this American aircraft to be able to directly withstand a hit from a modern Chinese hypersonic missile due to their extreme speed, maneuverability, and difficulty in detection, making them very hard to intercept with current technology. What is the United States Air Force doing concerning the threat that these Chinese hypersonic air force pose? The United States Department of Defense is ramping up spending on hypersonic weapons after years of warnings that China is pulling ahead in this technology. However, this new arms race comes with risks, especially as relations between the US and China continue to worsen. and there's limited information about China's advancements in this field. Hypersonic weapons, which travel faster than Mach 5, aren't a new concept. The US has been testing them since the 1950s. But investment in these systems slowed over the years. Meanwhile, China and Russia have made significant progress in their hypersonic programs. Russia recently demonstrated its capability by using 6 hypersonic Kinzhal missiles in Ukraine, the largest single deployment of these weapons during the war. Other nations, including Australia, South and North Korea, Japan, India, and Germany, are also developing hypersonic weapons. The US is now increasing funding and efforts to catch up, but the timing is tense, with US-China relations at their lowest point in decades. This competition could shape the future of global military power. The US Department of Defense reportedly plans to allocate $15 billion for hypersonic weapons development for the Army and Air Force between 2023 and 2027, as highlighted in a Congressional Budget Office report. This figure excludes the Navy's program, which recently awarded a $1.1 billion contract to Lockheed Martin for integrating hypersonic systems into Zumwalt-class destroyers. Experts have indicated that the US may be lagging behind China in this field. Reports noted that China's 2021 test of a nuclear-capable hypersonic weapon surprised many in the defense sector, showcasing advanced capabilities that exceeded expectations. It has been suggested that America's previous technological dominance, once considered untouchable, is now being challenged by China's progress. Observers have pointed out that this shift has spurred the US to accelerate its efforts in several areas. Concerns have also been raised about the absence of treaties governing hypersonic weapons, a situation some believe could lead to global instability, as seen during the Cuban Missile Crisis. However, analysts have noted that the major powers in this domain appear unwilling to pursue such agreements at present. Despite challenges, US defense officials, lawmakers, and weapons manufacturers continue to advocate for hypersonic technology, with the government now committing significant funding to advance the project. Hypersonic weapons are undeniably expensive, but they offer unique advantages that justify the investment. The US military began exploring hypersonic systems as far back as the 1960s, initially focusing on hypersonic flight for transporting people rather than weapons. By the 1980s, however, the focus shifted. During this period, the Air Force tested the maneuvering reentry vehicles, demonstrating that missiles traveling at speeds of Mach 5 or faster could be guided precisely to their targets as they re-entered Earth's atmosphere. The early 2000s marked a turning point when the US began serious efforts to develop hypersonic weapons under its conventional prompt global strike program. Today, 2 primary types of hypersonic weapons are being developed: glide vehicles and air-breathing missiles. Glide vehicles are launched on rockets and glide through the atmosphere at high speeds, while air-breathing missiles use engines to sustain their hypersonic speeds. Although US hypersonic systems are designed to carry conventional payloads, other nations, such as China, are pursuing nuclear-capable hypersonic weapons. This was evident during China's groundbreaking 2021 tests, which demonstrated the ability to combine nuclear warheads with hypersonic speeds, raising concerns about the global arms race. As the US pushes forward, these advanced systems promise unparalleled speed, precision, and flexibility in modern warfare, making them a critical focus for defense strategies. China has long sought ways to counter US missile defense systems, viewing them as a threat to its nuclear deterrence, according to Lyle Morris, a senior fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute. Since the early 2000s, China has significantly boosted its hypersonic weapons program, especially after the US withdrew from the anti-ballistic missile treaty with the Soviet Union. With no restrictions on developing anti-ballistic systems, China felt compelled to develop a different kind of deterrent. One key focus of China's efforts has been glide-type hypersonic weapons. These systems start their journey atop a ballistic missile, explains Timothy Heath, a defense researcher at the RAND Corporation. Once the missile reaches a certain altitude, the hypersonic glider detaches and travels at incredible speeds within the atmosphere. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles that follow a fixed trajectory, the glider can maneuver in flight, using the momentum from its launch to strike its target with precision. China claims its hypersonic weapons are ready for deployment, which Heath notes is a step or two ahead of the US, whose hypersonic program is still in the testing phase. This progress isn't surprising given China's advanced ballistic missile program and the US's relative underinvestment in similar technologies over the years. The real game changer with hypersonic weapons isn't just their speed, but their ability to maneuver and evade missile defense systems like the Patriot. These systems, widely used in the US and 17 other countries, struggle to track and intercept hypersonic weapons due to their unpredictable flight paths and the ability to skim the edge of the Earth's atmosphere before re-entering. According to defense experts, hypersonic weapons could potentially outmatch even the most advanced air and missile defense systems in the near future, making them a significant development in modern military technology. With China's successful hypersonic missile tests and rising tensions between Beijing and Washington, it's understandable to worry about the rapid pace of weapons development and heated rhetoric. However, there are significant obstacles to the widespread use of hypersonic weapons in combat. The high cost, around $15 million to $18 million per missile, combined with the practical realities of warfare, where basic weapons like artillery are often more effective, makes their use in battle questionable. Experts like Lyle Morris and Timothy Heath are skeptical about hypersonics' actual usefulness on the battlefield. A report from the Congressional Research Service points out that critics believe these weapons don't have clear mission roles, don't significantly improve U.S. military capabilities, and aren't necessary for deterrence. In addition, there's concern that China might share its hypersonic technology with other U.S. adversaries, such as North Korea, Iran, and Russia, all of which are developing their own hypersonic programs. As China and Russia strengthen their defense and technological ties, sharing knowledge on hypersonics wouldn't be surprising, says Elsa Kania, an expert on national security. One of the main concerns about China's hypersonic program is that the U.S. might be caught off guard. The fear of appearing less dominant in defense was especially strong after China's successful missile tests in 2021. General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, called these tests China's Sputnik moment, drawing a comparison to the Soviet Union's 1957 launch of the first artificial satellite, which shocked the U.S. Despite the concerns, Heath argues that hypersonic weapons would not be the deciding factor in a conflict between the U.S. and China or any other nation with hypersonic capabilities. The U.S. has a significant edge in other military technologies like stealth aircraft, long-range bombers, aircraft carriers, and submarines, conventional forces that allow the U.S. to project power and dominate adversaries without relying on long-range missiles. As the U.S. continues to invest in hypersonics and other nations develop their own capabilities, it's crucial to establish some sort of agreement on how these weapons should be used in combat. Unfortunately, Morris notes, this may not happen until a major escalation forces both sides to confront the issue. With the current lack of communication between China and the U.S. military, the risk of misunderstandings or miscalculations is high. Furthermore, most significant weapons agreements have historically been between the U.S. and Russia. With Russia pulling out of the New START treaty, the last major nuclear arms control agreement, the hope for any future defense technology agreement seems distant at best. The race for military dominance has accelerated as global tensions continue to rise uncontrollably. In order to stay ahead of potential threats, the United States, a leader in technological innovation, is advancing its military capabilities, including the development of powerful laser systems. These technologies aim to secure strategic superiority, but their impact on global stability remains uncertain. What makes this laser system stand out from amongst the rest? And how does it give the United States the edge over its rivals? Join us as we delve into the devastating capabilities of the U.S. new laser system. The battle for dominance is a never-ending battle, with each country seemingly trying to gain the edge over the other. The United States has finally fit the final piece of the puzzle, and this has pulled ahead of its rivals. In the year 22, the United States once again turned to a familiar face in Lockheed Martin for the development and deployment of a high-powered laser system named the High-Energy Laser with Integrated Optical Dazzler, Helios. Helios is technology unlike anything ever seen before. This new technology had power unlike any other before it, as the company rated it more than 60 kilowatts, and it had a range on it. It could hit targets over 5 miles away. This laser system also leaves room for improvement, as there are possibilities of it firing over 100 and 150 kilowatts in the near future. The technology, Helios, is being installed on a USS Preble, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. The United States Secretary of Navy, Carlos del Toro, when asked questions by the U.S. Congress, confirmed that there are plans in place to fast-track the development of the Helios laser program. He also confirmed that there are about 6 other laser programs in place, which he could not speak of openly for the sake of confidentiality. Rick Cordero, the vice president of Lockheed Martin, revealed that the United States and Lockheed Martin share a vision and enthusiasm for developing laser systems. Cordero laid emphasis on how Helios helps to bolster the combat system effectiveness of the ship to help prevent future threats. Not just that, it also provides the extra layer of protection needed by the sailors as they navigate their way through treacherous waters. Helios has outdone its predecessor, the AN/SEQ-3. In 2024, the United States Navy unveiled its Austin-class amphibious transport dock, USS Ponce, with the AN/SEQ-3 laser weapon system, LAUS. The AN/SEQ-3 was capable of firing 30 kilowatts. It was developed to target low-level threats like small boats. It had a few shortcomings of its own. It found it very difficult to target small objects like tiny drones. But the AN/SEQ-3 was still a game-changer in its own right. They converted the electrical energy from the ship into a focused beam of light that could be targeted at critical parts of an object, such as the engines or sensors, to incapacitate or destroy it. The damage caused by LAWS was not just limited to that, as they also caused structural damage or detonated explosive materials on board the target by delivering a large amount of heat. Unlike other traditional weapons that rely only on impact, LAWS employ directed energy to burn through parts of the target. LAWS also added another important feature to its assets: versatility. Its operators were able to adjust its power levels. Its output can be reduced to operate at lower intensities to simply neutralize and disable sensors, and its output can be increased to higher intensities to destroy threats. The LAWS system tracks down its targets through optical systems and can engage them over several kilometers with precision, providing a more suitable solution for defending against several threats. In 2010, the United States awarded Kratos Defense and Security Solutions an $11 million contract to help support the Naval Surface Warfare Center in the development of a laser weapon that could be utilized by the United States Navy. Thus, LAWS was born. LAWS is integrated with the ship's radar and fire control systems, and it operates at the speed of light, ensuring rapid response to any kind of emerging threat. Its precision in hitting the target minimizes collateral damage and makes it well-suited for complex and populated environments. The importance of Helios cannot be understated, as the changing landscape of wars in this 21st century makes it a necessity. One of the most impactful technologies to shape the battlefield in the 21st century is the drone. These unmanned aerial vehicles have redefined the very way wars are fought. The introduction of drones has made operations more efficient and cost significantly less, allowing militaries to strike with more pinpoint accuracy and maintain a constant presence over the battlefield. As the years go by, the influence of drones continues to expand beyond the activities of state actors. The technology has been adopted by non-state actors and has been highly influential for them. The adoption of this technology by non-state actors has seen it leveraging the playing field in conflicts around the world. The influence of drones is not limited to just one domain of warfare, as it cuts across all domains of warfare. Loitering munitions, or kamikaze drones as they are called, have successfully disrupted some traditional force structures by making available smaller, more agile units with the power to strike high-value targets such as tanks, artillery, and command centers. Meanwhile, underwater drones and ground robots are ensuring and expanding the reach and influence of unmanned warfare to new environments, further cementing their role in the future of conflict. Conflicts that involve drones in areas such as the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, and the Bab al-Mandeb Strait are wreaking havoc on the United States, not just military-wise, but also economic-wise. The United States Department of Defense in late 2023 reported that United States Navy destroyers successfully shot down nearly 40 drones and several missiles in the Red Sea. The Navy has succeeded in stopping uncrewed air and sea vehicles, and this is a huge bonus to the country. This is where Helios becomes very important. Helios, as its name indicates, is a multi-purpose system. It is powerful enough to deal critical damage or destroy certain target sets, such as smaller drones and boats. In this way, the system can also act as a dazzle to blind or confuse the optical sensors on enemy ships, and also aircraft and optical seekers on any incoming missile and other munitions. When used in this way, Helios can potentially throw off any incoming weapon or limit an opponent's general situational awareness, including surveillance capabilities. Helios also has its own optical sensors, which are primarily used to spot, track, and cue the laser, but that can also be used in a secondary surveillance role. The United States did not limit its laser technology to just the Navy and has tried to apply it to the Air Force as well, but did not enjoy the same level of success it did with Helios. The United States Air Force's vaunted Self-Protect High-Energy Laser Demonstrator SHIELD program was closed out without ever achieving its goal of testing a laser-directed energy weapon on a fighter. The roots of SHIELD can be traced back to at least the early 2010s and were publicly focused on the development of a laser-directed energy weapon that crewed combat jets like the F-15 or F-16 could carry. The system's primary purpose would have been to help ensure the protection of those aircraft from incoming air-to-air and surface-to-air missiles. Documents obtained in 2022 via the Freedom of Information Act revealed a link between SHIELD's origins and interest in a more multi-purpose laser weapon to arm a notional sixth-generation stealthy crewed combat jet envisioned in a study that preceded the Air Force's current next-generation air dominance (NGAD) effort. The Air Force had hoped that by 2017, they would have been able to load a complete SHIELD system onto a fighter for an initial flight sometime in 21. Things did not go according to plan, and by 2020, that timeline had expanded to 25. SHIELD is not the first high-profile laser weapon program the Air Force has revealed that it has spun down just this year. In March, the Air Force confirmed to the war zone it had canceled its long-standing but also much-delayed plans to test a high-energy laser weapon on an AC-130J Ghost Rider gunship under its Airborne High-Energy Laser (AHEL) program. The Air Force could only cite unspecified technical challenges as the reason why. The service added that, as a result, the program had to turn its attention to on-ground testing to improve operations and reliability to posture for a successful handoff for use by other agencies. It remains unknown who those other agencies might be. Doug Bush, Assistant Secretary of the Army for Acquisition, Logistics, and Technology, also gave a less remarkable report on the results so far of Army field testing of laser-armed strikers, also known as Directed Energy Maneuver Short-Range Air Defense. The United States Army is not just reliant on laser technology to keep its soldiers safe, but has also deployed a directed energy system of its own, aimed at keeping soldiers safe from drones and other threats. The laser used in the system has a 50 kilowatt power rating and is designed primarily to destroy smaller drones, as well as incoming threats such as artillery rockets, shells, and mortar projectiles. The Army is known to have received 4 prototypes and to have sent them all to undisclosed locations in the Middle East as of March, according to Breaking Defense. According to Bush, the most challenging part of it is with directed energy at different power levels. The intended 50 kilowatt power level is proving to be quite the challenge to incorporate into a vehicle that has to move around constantly, taking into account the heat dissipation, the amount of electronics, and the kind of wear and tear of a vehicle in a tactical environment versus a fixed site. It is not uncommon to experience hitches along the road, especially when testing weapons in a real-world environment. Laser-directed energy weapons especially look to have been having a particularly rough time in recent years, despite the level of technological and material advancement that brought them out of the realm of science and made them more practical than ever. Separately in 2020, under the then Secretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, Mike Griffin raised somewhat similar issues while pouring cold water on the Missile Defense Agency, MDA, aiming to demonstrate the feasibility of using a drone armed with a laser weapon to shoot down enemy ballistic missiles during the initial boost phases of their flights. According to Griffith, using a weapon system to equip an airplane with the lasers that they think necessary in terms of their power level and getting them to altitudes where atmospheric troubles can be limited appropriately. Such a combination cannot go on one platform. Griffin said while speaking at the Washington Space Business Roundtable that he was extremely skeptical that the United States Air Force can put a large laser on an aircraft and use it to shoot down an adversary missile even from very close. This makes the success of the Helios all the more impressive. The United States is, however, not the only country that is investing in the development of a laser system. Other superpowers in the world are also engaged in the race of developing an efficient and powerful laser system. China is one of those superpowers. China has developed its own laser defense system, and although not as powerful as that of the United States, is powerful enough in its own rights. The Chinese Silent Hunter makes use of an electrically powered fiber optic laser and has a maximum power that ranges between 30 and 100 kilowatts. It also has a wide range on it, but not as much as the Helios. The Silent Hunter has a maximum range of 4 kilometers. The primary use of the Silent Hunter is to track and destroy low-flying drones. It is powerful enough to penetrate millimeter steel plates. However, the size of the Silent Hunter prevents its use on an aerial platform. But that is not all from China. Just like their counterparts, the United States, the Chinese also feel the need to continually improve their laser system, and they have made some breakthroughs. Chinese scientists are jubilant as they claim to have made a breakthrough in a real-life Death Star energy beam weapon. The new high-powered microwave weapon combines many small electromagnetic waves to make one large focused laser beam, much like the Death Star from Star Wars, which destroyed planets by firing a particle beam composed of several smaller sources. The breakthrough they experienced is in the process of ultra-high time precision synchronization, which permits the beams from joining together and focusing on a single location. This idea has been considered difficult, if not impossible, to bring to life, as electromagnetic waves from different platforms need to arrive at the same location at the same time and in the same form to achieve an effective power combination. There are difficulties in bringing this to fruition. According to the research team's calculations, this requires each microwave vehicle to be in near-perfect position, with any positional error reduced to mere millimeters. Aside from that, the timing must also be perfect. The time synchronization error between them cannot exceed a trillionth of a second, which is more precise than the atomic clocks on GPS satellites. The technology was developed by the Xi'an Navigation Technology Research Institute under the China Electronics Technology Group Corporation. The group is a major supplier of electronic warfare weapons for the People's Liberation Army. Currently, it supplies most of the energy weapons used in the military. Due to the limitations in maximum power output, these weapons have not formed effective combat capabilities. But China believes it has what it takes to finally pull ahead of the United States: submarine-powered laser systems. The approach would involve submarines using laser propellers to travel at incredible speeds, with the lasers creating tiny explosions that would propel the submarine forward at previously unheard-of speeds. While the technology is theoretically possible, it does suffer from a potentially fatal flaw that would make any submarine using it even more vulnerable to detection than ever before. A Hong Kong-based newspaper first brought the new technology to light in April 24. The process involves using the lasers to serve as a form of underwater propulsion to not only achieve stealth, but also super high underwater speeds that could potentially rival jet aircraft. This is not the first time lasers would be used as a form of propulsion. The use of lasers as a form of propulsion dates as far back as 1972, when it was originally proposed as a method for powering spacecraft. In atmospheric travel, the technology is fairly straightforward and understood as opposed to underwater. Atmospheric laser propulsion has only been tested with scale models under controlled conditions and has not resulted so far in an actual manned craft. The Chinese defense chiefs are planning to install a Star Wars-type laser on its nuclear submarines so that it will be able to shoot down British and US spy satellites while hidden beneath the ocean. Chinese scientists make the bold claim that the weapon will be able to knock out satellites and enemy aircraft in a fraction of a second, because lasers destroy targets at the speed of light. The Chinese have set their sights on one of the Western satellite systems, the SpaceX Starlink satellite system, which can often be seen passing over the skies in the UK. Details of these grand plans have been published in the Chinese defense magazine, Command, Control, and Simulation. According to the researchers in the article, the laser could be mounted on a mast and could fire at satellites while submerged. The article notes that a submarine with a megawatt-class, solid-state laser weapon installed in its midsection could stay submerged, while it raised a retractable mast to fire at satellites up in the sky before diving back down to depth. According to the research notes, when the satellite enters the attackable range, the laser weapon is raised. After the attack is completed, the submarine can submerge and wait for the next mission or return to the home port. The Chinese claim that a laser would be far more lethal than current anti-satellite weapons, which use ground-fired rockets to launch a missile that destroys its target with an explosive warhead. Satellite swarms have today become a crucial part of warfare. Through satellite swans, Ukraine has been able to provide connectivity for its forces when existing internet and satellite communications facilities were destroyed. Thus, the Chinese believe that there is a need for destroying or disabling many small satellites in low Earth orbit. China believes the solution to attacking swarm satellites are flotillas of mass-produced laser subs that could be dispatched to oceans around the world. Laser subs could also shield China's ballistic missile submarines from detection. The article reads that the escorting submarine can first use the laser weapon to interfere with or destroy overhead satellites in the sea area, making it difficult for the enemy's space-based surveillance system to function, thereby achieving the concealment of missile launches. However, experts have claimed that supercavitation using lasers wasn't possible even for missiles, and submarines were still far from using such technology. Experts are also skeptical that the output claimed for the propeller is way larger than the energy put into the laser that powers it. Even with the high efficiency and advancement of lasers, this approach would never be as efficient as a propeller, so there is no net propulsive gain. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.